When did making plans get this complicated? It's time to streamline with WhatsApp, the secure messaging app that brings the whole group together. Use polls to settle dinner plans. Send event invites and pin messages so no one forgets Mom's 60th. And never miss a meme or milestone. All protected with end-to-end encryption. It's time for WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. Learn more at whatsapp.com.
Una silla de masajes puede parecer extravagante. 8 configuraciones diferentes, intensidad ajustable, además es calefaccionado. Y se siente tan bien. Sí, una silla de masajes puede parecer extravagante. Y 2, bueno, aún más. Pero cuando esas sillas de masajes vienen con un auto, se vuelven bastante prácticas. El nuevo Volkswagen Tiguan 2025 con funciones premium como los asientos delanteros con masaje disponibles. Solo parece extravagante.
Man, this is what it's all about. A strike away for Jeff Hoffman and the Toronto Blue Jays. The payoff. He struck him out! And for the first time in 32 years, the Blue Jays have won the pennant!
Live from New York. It's a show that was a little bit upset that the Blue Jays won. I'm happy for everyone in Toronto. But me and my friends that I have made in Washington State, devastated.
Can I tell you what I was upset about?
It was a tough loss.
Because listen, I picked the Mariners, but I'm happy for the Blue Jays. I'm really upset that he swung at that. Because we would have gotten Cal with a man on in the bottom of the ninth and 2 outs for a chance to send his team to the first World Series ever. That would have, it's just the iconic moment that we were one taken pitch away from getting and seeing it.
I'm shocked he did it because he's had a really nice series.
Oh, absolutely. And listen, Springer is a postseason legend, and he had his moment, but I just wanted to see Cal at the plate.
He's gonna hit 2 home runs in one game?
Well, I just wanted to see him at the plate. But
he hit what, 66 this year?
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Today, Lions bounce back and bounce Baker. Is there a chance that the Bucs are actually in trouble? Maybe.
Well,
Meanwhile,
some of us have been trying to.
You were 100% right about that.
Yeah, there are no Ravens. What we know about the Bucs is there are no Baltimore Ravens.
To the team, no. To the locker room. No more cornhole in the locker room.
No, if Super Smash Brothers was in the locker room, that's distracting. That
and
can
they
be
still
addictive.
lost 2 games, Brou.
Yeah.
Brou's reaction to this latest article, there's a lot there.
There is a lot there, and I'm sure Brou read the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. And finally, after a long absence, has Patrick Mahomes played his way back on top of Mahomes Mountain after an emphatic win against the Raiders?
Well,
may I say something after you introduce us?
Chris Broussard, Kevin Wildes, and Nick Wright wants to say something.
Kevin Wildes, whether he knows it or not, 5 weeks ago hurt my feelings.
For what? When?
I did an edition of The Mountain, I think after week 1, and this is what Wildes did. He's like, well, it's just there's no point of it if it's not even possible for other people to be at the top.
That's true.
Right, but there was always a path, and I think the Mountain proved it over the course of the next 4 weeks.
Don't give it away. I don't even
and
know
now
if
we're curious if we're back to equilibrium of Patrick being in his rightful place.
On top of the mountain.
that means the light show is in full effect.
What you called?
Kind of.
You called that.
He called it. He called him Jordan-esque.
Jordan-esque.
All of
We
it.
start with a confidence-boosting win for Detroit. Depleted secondary was buoyed by subs while Jahmyr Gibbs ran wild on the Bucs. 218 total, 2 touchdowns. Dan Campbell, you're not going to believe this, fired up postgame.
How about the defense? Listen, 9 points allowed, 4 of 16 on 3rd down, 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery, 252 yards allowed, man. That's outstanding defense. Listen, we did what we had to do. There's things we got to clean up, but I tell you what, defense, you play like that, you win every game. That's the bottom line. That's outstanding. That's the way to cut it loose, just like we talked about, guys.
I love Dan Campbell at this point. What did the Lions prove last night?
That Dan Campbell is a heck of a coach and has created a great culture. All right. They needed to come back and make a statement after that loss to the Chiefs. All right. Now, they haven't lost back-to-back games in 3 years. October 30th, 2022, I think was their last. And that's when they were 9-8.
Yeah.
Since they've become an elite team, they have not lost back-to-back games. And they did it with, I'm saying their 4 starters in the defensive backfield were out, but it was like 5 of their top defensive backs were out.
Right.
And so that's what I mean by the culture. Like, when you don't have your starters, we've talked about a lot of teams not having players, Baltimore, Kansas City, all these teams that don't have, Tampa Bay that's had injuries. And for them to go out there and hold, right now, in most people's opinion, certainly going into that game, the league MVP to his worst game of the season. I get it, they had injuries, but Ibuka played, Mike Evans was there for about half the game. To do what they did to that Tampa Bay offense, I think was impressive. And again, to me, it speaks about their culture, their depth. They're not like Goff is very good, but he's not Patrick. He's not Josh. We know he's not in that top tier where it's your quarterback kind of carrying you. He is a very good player who's part of a great team, and they showed it yesterday with their depth and then the versatility of the way they did it. We've seen it be David Montgomery. Last night it was Jahmyr Gibbs. So, look, they did what they needed to do, Nick. Obviously, they're still disappointed about losing to the Chiefs, but to come out and beat another top team is all you can do in that situation.
Yes, and oddly, because they played this well with an even more injury-ravaged team than they played the Chiefs, it almost removes some of the excuses some folks were trying to make for them a week ago about, well, what do you want them to do undermanned defensively? We kind of showed, they showed you what people would have wanted them to do. Now, holding a team to 9 points is impressive, no matter the scenario, especially a team that has been as prolific offensively as Tampa's been. I thought that was a massive bounce-back spot that I did not know that they were mentally going to be ready for. Now, as far as them being upset about the officiating and stuff from a week ago, I think after last night, Lions fans can feel like we're about even. Like that
maybe they'll think complaining.
that maybe my crazy hot take for the last 5 years, which is the NFL is not slanted towards one team. The NFL is very hard to officiate. And if you're on national TV, you're going to have 3 or 4 calls any game that are going to be like, wow, that seems like they got it wrong, because it's a standalone game. Everyone's focused on it. Yesterday, if you're Tampa, you're probably upset about the double review and the interception we're showing. But Detroit thoroughly outplayed them. Detroit deserved to win that game. And had they lost, they're 4-3.
Yeah.
Don't have a tiebreaker head-to-head with Green Bay. Don't have a tiebreaker with Tampa, and Tampa's sitting at 1 loss. Now it's flipped to where I know Detroit is not right now in first place in the standings, but because they have that tiebreaker with Tampa and because of how they've been playing offensively post week 1 and they get Green Bay again, they feel to me like they are the favorites for the 1 seed as we sit here today. I think the NFC West is going to beat each other up with 3 teams at 5-2. So I think that's great. Here would be my one piece of concern for the Lions that I think we saw last night. They are incredibly reliant, understandably, on their great skill position players, most notably Jahmyr Gibbs, who reminds me of a guy we were talking about off the air the other day, Jamal Charles. Just the speed and power, and as a receiver and a running back, just a great player. I think Jamal's one of the greatest players in Chiefs history, and Jahmyr Gibbs reminds me of him a lot. Goff has, to me, even though the numbers haven't shown it, looked a little shakier this year than last year because they don't have as stout as an offensive line, and I think you saw that at times in the Chiefs game, and you certainly saw it at times last night. So that would be the one, but with them, but that was a huge win, and a win where they can, to me, particularly after the illegal contact that then it was Jahmyr Gibbs' 80-yard run the very next play, controlled the lion's share of that game.
Lions head into their bye week 5-2. Gibbs ties Barry Sanders for most touchdowns for a Lion through 39 games. Pretty good.
Wow.
That legendary.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Tough loss for the Bucs. Baker was off target all night. Mike Evans returned to the lineup, cut short by a broken collarbone and a concussion in the second quarter. Bull said he'll miss most of the year, so that's just horrible news. Baker completed only 56% of his passes. Here he was after the game.
As a skill group, we didn't connect on some early plays. Behind the sticks, a lot of get back on track plays and allowing their defensive line and linebackers to get some pressure and pin their ears back. And it's not fair on the O-line to begin with. I thought they played really well in the first half. We just weren't able to connect early. Had some sparks. Defense and special teams kept us in that ball game, and they did a hell of a job, but we just weren't able to contribute.
You were sounding alarms about this game, Brou. Bad night or a sign of larger issues for Tampa Bay?
Well, both. Like, obviously, Mike Evans is out for maybe most of the rest of the season, if not longer. So that hurts you. And I think it was a bad sign. Look, they're going to win their division. I thought Atlanta might challenge them, but Atlanta just seems to be up and down. You don't know.
Carolina's only a game back.
Look, I don't think they're as good as they're not going to beat Tampa Bay, but like they're improving. So I see improvement there. But they're going to win that division. But honestly, I think they are what they have been these last few years.
Really?
Yeah, I really do. They're a very good team.
Feisty.
Like a legit playoff team without question. I don't think they're as good as the Philadelphias, the Detroits, the Green Bays, especially if Green Bay plays closer to its potential. And so I think, and the Rams, I would put them slightly below those four teams. They're good. So what I would say to them is they better get home field advantage. You've been talking, they do have the easier schedule. If you look at their schedule.
The next four are tough, and then it's
well, New Orleans, which, you know, is not like, but you got to play them hard. But they got the three after that are tough. And then they, those games won't, you still got to play hard, but you should win that last row.
Well, that's the thing,
At least
Brou.
all but one. So they have to get, Nick, the home field advantage.
The one seed, you're saying?
Well, I mean, to have a real chance to win the Super Bowl, I would say yes. Or to get to the Super Bowl, I just don't think they're quite as good as those upper echelon teams.
I mean, we saw them play Philly. I know they lost. That game was, a 51-49 game. So I don't think it's fair to say they are not on par with the Rams or the Eagles. It's hard for me to say right now they're on par with Detroit because they just played in Detroit, beat them soundly. I know Philly beat them as well, but that, like we said, that game came down to the final moments. What they have working for them is they have a meaty 5-2 record, and that of all the league, of all the teams with a winning record, only Philly and Jacksonville have faced a tougher schedule. So when you see who they've beaten, they have beaten winning teams, and I know it's been close.
It's not incredibly I mean, you're right. But Seattle is their best win.
And throw their schedule up there again. San Francisco's 5-2. Seattle's 5-2. The Jets are obviously terrible.
Houston, the Jets,
and Atlanta's
maybe
average team, right? And Philadelphia came down. They haven't played, aside from the Jets, any walkovers, we feel. Houston's weird because they have the number one defense in football and just a terrible, terrible offense. So I think that works in their favor. The Mike Evans thing is a big deal, and his historic streak of 11 straight 1,000-yard seasons is obviously over. But broken collarbone, he should be back for the playoffs. And to your point about their schedule, if they can just go 2-2 in the next four, which is beat the Saints and then go 1-2, Patriots, Bills, Rams, which I think is totally reasonable. Then you're 7-4 going into that last stretch, and I think the one seed, which was my biggest reason for picking them to go to the Super Bowl, was I thought they had a great chance at the one seed and people were undervaluing it. I also think that they are going to get in-season boosts by all these guys returning. Not Evans is who I'm talking about here. Multiple offensive linemen injured. Bucky Irving injured. Godwin, Abuka got banged up at one point, and they sustained it. So I'm not going to, when I picked them to go to the Super Bowl, 5-2 through this first 7, I'd have signed up for that. Yeah, and so it feels bad because of last night, but I think I think they're a really good team. And I think they had a pretty bad game that with some bad breaks go against them yesterday. So you guys know how much I like the Rams. I don't think the Rams are better than them. And I don't know that Philly is too hot and cold for me to definitively say that.
Certainly Philly at its best, but you might not get that. But you don't want to play them. I mean, because Baker, and Baker will play well in the playoffs too.
Yes.
But I just don't think overall they're as good as those other teams.
This stat that Josh gave me is the hot sauce that is slightly too hot of stats.
Okay.
Where it's like you have a hot sauce, like that's good. And then you have some hot sauce, you're like, that's a little too hot for me. Yeah. But I kind of like it, but I kind of dislike it. If games ended with 90 seconds left, this is what you were talking about, of just playing with fire, Brou. It's Titans, Bucs, Bengals, Dolphins, Saints, Jets, Raiders. It's a weird stat.
None of those other teams are any good.
No, I don't know if I like it. If you can look at it through the prism of this is a great team and he knows how to win, or you can look at it through I don't know. They're the only first place team that has a negative total points
they're -1 for the season.
That matters to me. I think it's an indicator.
So when it comes to point differential on a stat like this, it reminds me of a first cousin of a stat for a team that made the Super Bowl last year, which is, do you remember what was going around? Record of teams if you flipped one-score games. If your one-score losses were wins and your one-score wins were losses last year, that was the stat that showed you the Chiefs would have gone 4-13. And so that was, and that Chiefs, and I'm not saying this is the Chiefs of last year, that team made the Super Bowl.
It's a weird stat.
They have not blown people out, and Baker early in the year was having these slow starts and then playing well late. I just think that they are one of the only teams in the league, San Francisco's proving it as well, that could have this level of cluster injuries and still be 5-2.
Yeah,
Lions. The Lions injuries to me are just the last. It's really for them the last 2 weeks, and they're 1-1 in that stretch. The Bucs have been banged up from basically the first game of the season, and then getting more banged up. And I do think they'll be able to sustain the Mike Evans injury. That is something Baker gets credit for, building up these other receivers. 7th-round pick Tez Johnson is playing well. Shepard.
MVP candidate.
Right, he thought he was. And Ibuka's obviously been a great rookie. So I think that they are still a top-tier NFC contender.
Just quickly, I saw this stat. I'll play a quick game of something or nothing out the door. Bucs are 23-10 with Baker not in prime time. Baker's now 1-7 in prime time. That hits your radar or something?
Wait, hold on. The Bucs franchise, you're saying?
Baker starting 23-10 when he's not playing in prime time. He's 1-7 in prime time games.
Here's where it hits me. Nothing against Baker, because Baker obviously is not worried about prime time or big games. It hits me as their prime time games are probably against elite teams for the most part. And that's where
they're not
just
the elite
not
team
quite
that
right.
some little team is playing.
That last point, that's exactly how I would have put it. Prior to this year, if the Bucs were on prime time, it meant they had to be playing one of the 3 best teams in the league. Aside from, I think they had a Thursday night game last year against Atlanta that was a crazy overtime finish at the end. But the Bucs, post Brady, have not been a marquee team. So if they're on prime time, it's because good example, last year Chiefs, the overtime game when Chiefs won the toss and Baker felt all sad. They're only playing these elite teams because the Bucs haven't been a big draw.
Bucs in New Orleans Sunday on Fox. New Orleans is going to win a game.
They've already won a game.
Another game.
Not this week. They're not going to beat the Bucs.
They're kind of they're not quite, I don't think, as good as Arizona, but they're one of those teams that you don't want to take them lightly.
They also might be coming off their worst game of the year.
Bounce back opportunity.
Yeah, and so, no, I think that the Bucs get this win, stabilize at 6-2 going into the bye, and then have a really tough stretch. New England, Buffalo, and the Rams.
I just love that New England, that we have moved from, you got the Patriots, New England.
And for you guys, are the Bucs, other than Buffalo, the only good team you play all year?
Yes, and it's a revenge game. Tom Brady revenge game.
Okay.
Not even there. Gronkowski revenge game. Blue Jays headed to the World Series, courtesy of a 3-run home run in the 7th inning off the bat of George Springer, who added a little Joe Carter-esque hop as he headed to first. Vladdy wins Series MVP, and he added a Kobe-esque quote to his postgame. Take a listen.
You know, the job is not finished. We're gonna try to go to the World Series and try to win it all. Like, we pray for this, and all the country is behind us, and we're trying to win the World Series back to Toronto.
Game 1 Friday in Toronto on Fox. What are the chances the Blue Jays upset the mighty Dodgers?
Look, it's baseball. I mean, so it is a fickle sport. If a team gets hot or goes into a slump, anything could happen. But I feel strongly the Dodgers win this. And look, they're going to be one of the best teams. You know, the first team to repeat since the Yankees had a three-peat 98 through 2000. So first team this century, really, to repeat. And then I look at their lineup, and I know, look, Toronto is full of hitters. I mean, they're almost hitting 300 in the postseason. But, you know, Shohei, Mookie, Freddie Freeman, Hernandez, both Hernandez. They got Enrique Hernandez in eighth, batting eighth.
Yeah, I don't even
Max
think you
Muncy.
mentioned. Oh, you said Betts. Yeah.
Like, so, and then the pitching, here's the thing in the postseason. Toronto has given up 47 earned runs in 11 postseason games. The Dodgers have given up 25 earned runs in 10 postseason games.
Is that their starters or their whole pitching staff?
The whole staff. So that's just one less game. So I just think the Dodgers are a better all-around team, and they're playing for destiny, so I think they're going to go ahead and win this.
I'm going to go with the Blue Jays.
Love it. Love that we've got, because you want to kind of go for the Dodgers, but I like you taking the underdog.
Well, listen, I mean, it's weird because I picked the Mariners last night, but that was purely what I thought was a coin flip game, and I wanted the team that's never been to a World Series to make it. There was no great analysis on it. I just thought coin flip, I'll pick what I'm rooting for. This is a little different because one thing the Blue Jays do have going for them is they should be getting Bo Bichette back, who was excellent for them this year. They haven't had him the whole postseason, so that's a positive. Vladdy is obviously on fire. I think that really matters. George Springer is third in baseball history in playoff home runs. Third in playoff history.
They play more games.
I mean,
now.
Babe Ruth is basically ineligible because he could only play in World Series games. But number one is Manny Ramirez.
Heck yeah.
Number 2 is one of Springer's teammates with the Astros, Jose Altuve. And number 3 is George Springer. He also is a former World Series MVP. And this year, when he'd kind of been disappointing with the Blue Jays, hit .310 for him, and during the regular season, arguably was, if not the most important player, one of their most important or consistent players. And then you do have this anvil looming for the Dodgers, which we talked about all year, which is they have a really, really bad bullpen. The starting pitching's been great. And so this is the Dodgers bullpen. It hasn't, and that includes the playoffs. Here's why I think that could matter. The Blue Jays play a style of baseball that's kind of similar to my Royals a decade ago. It's not about hitting a bunch of bombs. It's about putting the ball in play. So here's the Blue Jays ranks this year. Shout out Coach Mangini in important stats that I think could get Dodgers starters out of the game. First in baseball in batting average, first in on base, first in hits, and the lowest strikeout percentage. So if you can just stick around, get guys on base, even if you're not scoring big early, and get to the Dodgers bullpen, I think it could cause real stress for them. And so I think the Blue Jays can do it.
Brou, we had that stat that we were kicking around last week that the Dodgers starters are up there with like John
it was crazy.
Braves and Christy Mathewson and like the old Dodgers, Fernando's Dodgers. 1.40 ERA, 81 strikeouts, and 10 starts. Just the starts, not the bullpen. Is there any part of you that thinks the Dodgers pitching staff is too hot? That they've got to kind of come back? They're not going to be the best pitching staff of all time in the postseason.
Well, like I said, in baseball, like Ohtani, who just had what we think was the best game ever, was 2 for 25 at one point. Just a week ago in the
like
stretch.
Vladdy's numbers over the postseason are better.
Vladdy was 0 for 7 in the first
more
2 games
consistent.
and then won ALCS MVP.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, so you can go into a slump or the pitcher, they are a great hitting team,
Yes.
Toronto. We saw that throughout this whole postseason. We've seen it in regular season. So, I'm going to have confidence in that staff because they have been so great. And I think you talked about the bullpen. Dave Roberts can't be afraid to let the starters go longer.
Yeah.
7,
Sure.
8, whatever it might take. If they're rolling, let them go rather than going to that bullpen.
And go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm very interested in 2 things, and then we're going to go because we have to get to this Ravens ping pong story. I'm interested to see if the tenor of the country has kind of turned on the Dodgers for being too good. Happens to the Patriots, has now happened to the Chiefs. Dave Roberts is like, we're ruining baseball. Let's win 4 more and ruin baseball. So there's a little bit like, you guys are too good. We're going to root for the Blue Jays. The second thing I'm wondering is this too much? Are the Blue Jays having too much fun, and have they spent too much money on the club in their locker room? They had a disco ball.
I like it.
And Brou referred to it as a discoteca. So
I mean, that shows you, Nick, how serious these teams take these celebrations.
And also, if the World Series started tomorrow,
I was like, where is that?
I'd be a little worried. But they have till Friday, so that, 24-hour hangover is not that bad. I don't think that America's soured on the Dodgers because they won in the pandemic year and they won last year.
They're very likable
They're there
team.
every year, but they haven't felt inevitable. And because up until last year, they were kind of known as a postseason underachiever.
Yeah.
They had made going into last year's World Series, they had made 13 consecutive postseasons and won one World Series. And to the World Series, we were like, pandemic.
Right.
So if they win this and they win it easily, then I think that happens. But right now, I think people are enthralled with Shohei.
I was going to say, I think Ohtani's being a unicorn changes all that.
But I just think
people just want to see.
I think people like the Jays, and it's like Bo Bichette. That's Dante Bichette's kid. Vlad Guerrero Jr.
like that.
I mean, people know that's Vlad Guerrero's kid. But like and so it's pretty obvious it's Junior. But it's just, I don't know. I think it's cool. I'm very excited for it.
Ravens renovations. Can a locker room cleanup save the season and put Brou back on the healthy track? That's next on FS1, the Fox Sports Channel on SiriusXM.
Also, do you guys have your passports? Toronto's not that far.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso. Gift magical mornings with Nespresso Virtuo Pop. Compact and stylish, Virtuo Pop is made to meet every morning coffee craving. From espresso to coffee, hot or iced, at the click of a button. And celebrate the season with Nespresso's limited edition coffee flavors. Sweet almond and hibiscus, cinnamon and candied tamarind, and festive double espresso. Magic in the making. Shop the holiday gift collection exclusively at Nespresso.com.
Hey, check out the podcast if you get a chance. We're working on it as you speak. Also, our YouTube, we are working on it currently. Literally.
Yeah. Gianna's in a meeting.
In a meeting right now.
Hey, Gianna's bosses.
Uh-oh.
I know you're on the West Coast. The show's 3 to 5 Eastern. Okay. If you could just let her be free.
Plus overtime.
3 to 6 Eastern. Just noon to 3 on the West Coast. Just leave Gianna available, if you could.
Welcome back to the show. Super Bowl champion Greg Jennings is here. Tough times in Baltimore, Brou.
This is unbelievable.
Brian Wacker of the Baltimore Sun wrote just an excellent, article on what's going on with the 1-5 Ravens. Lots of culprits, including fun.
Luigi.
Maybe, yes. Brian Wacker writing, when the team returned to Owens Mills after the loss to the Chiefs, the toys had disappeared. The Ravens promptly removed several recreational staples from the locker room. The basketball hoop, how big is this locker room? The ping pong table, cornhole boards, video game consoles. Multiple players told The Sun the decision came from coaching staff who wanted to strip away distractions. Now, this article came out just today. Was it today?
Yeah.
Today. But the toys were removed weeks ago. They then lost 2 more games.
Yeah.
Brou, your reaction to this entire article, and it's a doozy.
What a sign.
Bro.
What a sign.
What is he talking about?
The Ravens and I are on the same page.
This is not.
We are in lockstep.
They lost.
Hear a brother out.
Okay, sorry.
They go and get all the toys out of the locker room. All the fun and games gone. Because it's about business right now.
Yeah.
What did I do? Had no idea they had done this. What did I do?
Great point.
I took that robe, put it away.
That's a great point.
The Jordans, the sandwiches, the chips, the soda pop, the sunglasses, you're gone. Because it is time to put your fist in the dirt
Gee whiz.
and play some real Ravens football. I'm serious.
I know.
We are on the same page, and you can talk. Yes, I know they lost to Houston. Houston put 44 on them.
Yes.
It took them a minute.
Oh.
It took them a minute to get okay.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a sea change up in here.
Yeah,
all
no
right.
cornhole.
But then what happened?
They lost again.
That's all right, though. They held everybody's All-American.
17 points.
17 points. And I submit it may have been 13 or even 10 had Zay Flowers not given them the ball at the 21-yard line of the Ravens. Okay? And the Rams. What the Rams do? The Rams just played Jacksonville, one of the best defenses in the league, we're told. Taking everything away. Dropped 35 on them.
Yeah.
All right? When the Rams played
now we're
the
doing the Rams
Indians,
stuff.
put 27 on them, 26 on Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And the Ravens hold you to 17?
Yeah.
The Ravens held you to your fewest first downs of the season, your fewest total yards of the season, your fewest passing yards of the season. They are back, baby. Assuming Lamar is back.
Yeah.
They are back. And
Okay.
the last thing, John Harbaugh, very smart. Because we know he's been kind of, lately, last several years, a player's coach. Players get.
Exactly.
So instead of going in there knowing I can't all of a sudden, become a hard-nosed, tough guy, yelling, screaming, and all that, he did it this way. I'm going to be the same guy.
Yeah.
Laughing,
take away all your
smiling.
privileges.
But I'm taking away all these toys.
Yeah. You show up with your bags ready to play cornhole. Where are the boards?
That's right.
Oh, shoot, I got to
But you
study
get
the
the
playbook.
message. Coach don't have to yell. You just get, okay.
I love the fact that and the idea that you guys are in lockstep. I like that. However, having been in a locker room, having experienced something similar to this is foolish.
Hold on, they took your ping pong table
This
away
is
at a
foolish.
point?
Yeah, look, when you're winning all these extra things, they're not distractions. They're just, we got to
Blow off steam. You gotta decompress.
Now we're losing. Now these are distractions. You can't have, and it makes more sense to me why they got blasted the following week after the Chiefs game.
They were sad.
Because you're treating me like a kid, and so I kind of bucked. You talk about them having a great bounce back in the Rams game, but that following week, it made more sense why I didn't see any heart, why I didn't see the grit following that, because there's a level of rebellion and bucking that takes place when something like that happens. Like, what does that have to do with football? Yeah. This also tells me. This also tells me.
I play Super Smash Brothers.
They don't really know what the issue is over there in Baltimore.
I agree.
What the issue
and can I expand for a moment? Because Brou, if I may steal one of your patented turn of phrases, that was cute. But if we are being honest, Brou, this is the type of team you don't carry hate in your heart, but you should really dislike. They are a silly, soft team.
Oh my
If
gosh.
I told you,
It's gonna come across the table like that meme.
If this story were about a different one-win team, I don't know, the Miami Dolphins.
Oh wow.
That they took the ping pong tables out. Oh wait, we did that story.
It was just ping pong.
We did that story. It was just ping pong.
We didn't have a basketball.
If this was about a different team who one of their premier defenders after losses is podcasting.
Oof.
Oh, wait, we did that story 100 times. If this were about any team that is grasping while not being able to defend, while getting run over, and it came out that, as it was in the article, that one player Instagrammed their star quarterback playing Super Smash Brothers and said, studying game film, it would not be looked at as a positive sign. So I just think you are looking at this through Ravens-colored glasses, when in reality, this is the type of team you don't like. They're a silly, soft, bad team right now. They are. Okay. Right now, they are.
Take it easy. You're going to ruin the show.
No, there's just a few differences. Here's the differences.
Yeah.
Tua versus Lamar. Okay? Miami culture, which maybe because of the weather, all that, is a softer culture for team, versus Ravens culture.
Yeah.
No, they gonna respond to this, and they did against the Rams. If they had Lamar, they beaten the Rams.
Okay, Greg, I'm going to read you another passage. A defense that has played tentatively and is scared to make even the smallest mistake, and a group of veterans and rookies alike who have struggled to find joy in their work. Something that the NFL has done, or the social media teams have done, is rather than just make available, the post-game press conference, we've gotten a lot of locker room sound. This year, it feels like something has changed. So we show a lot of locker room sound, and you can kind of get a sense, usually after wins, what the vibe of the team is like. We see, Patriots vibes are really good. Yep. Dan Campbell, we showed earlier. Yep. Ben Johnson has got the Bears feeling alive. There was an element in this article that was like, people catch up to us. They know what's coming. To me, sort of like the looming red light was, this whole team needs a coaching change?
That's when I listen to I'm drawing a blank on the name of the defensive end. Van Noy. When I listened to him a couple weeks ago, and he was asked directly a couple of questions about just the performance and coaching and different things, and his dismissiveness to respond or to answer some of those questions at this juncture in his career, and him saying, I don't have a lot of time left. We got to get with the program on both sides. It spoke volumes to me. I listen to people like that because
what you would say, what do you want the response to be?
No, he just refused. He didn't want to answer those questions when they were directing the question at coaching. You know what? I'm not going to touch that. That's above my pay grade. When guys start saying that, they've been talking about it in the locker room. I'm not going to divulge what we've been talking about in the locker room because that's not how I.
And this article talked about that offensive guys were pointing the finger at Monken.
Yep.
It does seem like there is a discrepancy between how talented the players believe the team is and obviously their record. And the only thing to blame that on is coaching. If you think you have a good roster, and they certainly have a better than 1-5 roster.
They definitely.
That's unequivocal. And so but the problem is the Monken stuff in the article felt to me kind of ridiculous. We are not far removed from Todd Monken getting there and Lamar instantly winning MVP, almost winning another one, and then this year before he got hurt, people were saying he was playing that he was going into the Chiefs game playing right. So the Zach Orr stuff is tough because it seems to me, reading tea leaves, Zach Orr right now is one real ally, and that's John Harbaugh, and that that it has not been working, and Harbaugh does not want to his credit or otherwise, relent on that front. That's how I'm reading.
They should be on the hot seat. If this continues, this coaching staff should be gone at the end of the year.
If they lose to the Ravens, if they lose to the Bears, what does this mean for?
Look, they need to beat the Bears. I've been saying that for weeks, right, since Lamar went out. But again, in that division, 6 loss. You think maybe 8 and 9 might get out of that.
Are you going to say if they lose to the Bears, they're not done?
Yes.
No, Brou, you've said
if they lose to the Bears, they still have a shot in that division. Absolutely.
Brou, if they lose to the Bears with Lamar, Aren't they just bad?
Until they are mathematically eliminated. They can't be this bad with Lamar.
Where is the goalpost?
With Lamar and Derrick Henry, they can't be that bad.
But they are. They have been.
Actually not, because Lamar's been out for
They
some.
actually
and
are.
they lost to the Chiefs, the Lions, and the Bills. That's three of the best teams in the league. Three teams that none of us would be surprised if they're in the Super Bowl. So I'm just saying, we know they had a tough schedule.
I get all that. But then, if they then lose to the Bears with Lamar and Derrick Henry in a must-win, I think we can say they're done.
It's not a must-win.
Coming out of the bye.
No, Brou, it's a must-win.
Look, they need to win. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, if they lose that game, I will not write them off until they are mathematically eliminated. That division, get in the tournament. Get in the tournament. That's what I'm saying.
Unbelievable.
Get in the tournament.
I mean, I respect the faith, but if they lose to the Bears, they're just bad.
It will be disappointing.
Disappointing.
It will be some of that. They're bad.
Yes.
There'll be some of that.
But you can turn around. They turned the defense around last year.
You're the best.
Y'all are acting like it. Is Lamar Jackson become a bad quarterback?
No, but they've won one game.
They played a murderous road schedule. You know this.
I don't know.
I mean, the two games they lost without Lamar, I think we all understand why they lost those games.
Except the Texans game, they allowed 4.
I mean, that was ugly. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying, without Lamar, no one would expect them to win many games.
I know, but the Bengals lost their quarterback, and they're ahead of them in the rankings. And
When
I think
they
the
win,
Browns
not Joe
are
Flacco.
also lost their quarterback, and they're ahead of them in the rankings as well.
They'll be fine.
Okay.
They gotta beat the Bears.
Well, thank you. That's
I'm just
not
saying,
necessarily.
don't expect me to come in here and just say they're done.
Okay.
Nervous about the Bears at home.
Okay.
The Bears ran roughshod over the Cowboys.
All right.
Did they not?
A quick edition of Weird and Wonderful and a special edition of Brou's Ballot.
Which at this point, Lamar might be on.
He could be. He is the MVP. Jameer Gibbs had a career game against the Bucs. 136 on the ground, 82 through the air. MVP of the game.
Because Winfield Jr. had an angle, and he just ran away from him.
No.
But not in this one.
MVP of the game, which leads to check in on who might be the MVP of the league with this week's edition of Brou's Ballot. Dun, 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 dun.
Some changes. All right. At number 5, still a running back.
Love it.
But Jonathan Taylor.
In place of Gibbs.
Bijan was.
I'm sorry. My bad.
I've been torn about who on the Colts. Is it Daniel Jones? Is it Jonathan Taylor? Taylor's leads the league with 10 touchdowns. On pace for 24, would be the most since LaDainian Tomlinson set the record of 28 in 2006. He's the only guy in the league averaging 100 yards a game. So, and I think nothing from Daniel Jones, who's playing great, but his running is the hub of that offense. So I got Jonathan Taylor in there. Number 4, Wilds.
Let's go.
Drake May.
He
dropped a couple notches, but nothing because of the way he played. He played fine. He played very well. A couple other guys had better performances, but he was very good. If you take out Lamar, who's obviously only played 4 games, he leads the league tied with Goff in passer rating. And we know he doesn't have the greatest weapons.
Yep.
Stephon Diggs is
He doesn't have the weapons Goff has, for sure.
Yeah.
Goff has, but wait till you see coming up.
Kayshon Boutte is doing his thing.
Yeah.
He's a real deep threat. They made him a real
I have coming up, Greg.
Okay, let's let Brou do.
Well, you guys taking shots
Stop
at me.
teasing your stats.
At number 3, Nick might be bothered by this. We got Patrick Mahomes. He stays put. He stays put. It's a whole season award. It is a whole season award.
He leads the league in yards and touchdowns over the whole season.
Well, total touchdowns, not passing.
All we've done is total touchdowns the last 2 years.
And they are 4-3. Okay, they're 4-3. We don't just do it since T6.
Thank you.
All right, the tackle that turned the tide. All right, we do it for the entire season. He's moving up. He's moving up.
But he's not moving up.
He will be
3
moving
last
up, is my assumption. But
backwards.
Here's the thing. At number 2, you're going to love this. Everybody's All-American. He just threw 5 touchdowns against the Jags, who did beat Mahomes and company post T6.
That's a good point.
He sets the London record, right? He leads, with 5 touchdowns in a game overseas, and he has 17 touchdowns this year, leading the league in touchdowns.
Is that a
He
thing?
did it without Puka Nacua.
The London record?
Well, they
I've
were
never heard
on
of
the broadcast. They were
yeah,
making a big deal out of it.
kinda.
It's probably not in the NFL record book.
That's
but
the London record.
It is. They were making a big deal. His first 5 touchdown game since Thanksgiving 2015. 10
Wow,
years.
that's pretty good.
That's
All right, who's number one?
And at number 1, look, I know he had a bad game.
Oh.
He had a bad game, but again, it's a whole season award. He has been heroic most of the season. 5-2 with their injuries. I do feel like this is probably the last week he's number 1. He had 1 bad game.
Well, Drake, why did Drake May move back?
Drake May's got 2 losses.
All that
it's a
happened,
whole season.
K-Dub,
See,
Baker
now
has 2
we're
losses.
moving. Now we're moving into the meat of the season. We're
K-Dub,
almost
all
halfway
that
through the
happened
season.
was Stafford.
So it's supposed to be more
thought
half.
He moved Stafford up. That's all.
Stafford was great.
So he flipped Stafford and that's all.
And
I don't want to say what I'm about to
Mahomes
say.
was behind Drake May.
Between what you said about the Ravens and what I'm about to say, the show is on its last legs.
Then don't. But
Certainly feels like this was made.
It was made an hour ago.
A little pre-production. A little pre-production. How about Baker number 1 build the graphic?
Baker shouldn't be number 1.
I think last night's performance.
He's had 1 bad. Drake May had a bad game. They lost to the Raiders.
He didn't even play
I know
that
you think that was preseason.
No, this was yesterday. This was like 12
But
hours
it's not.
ago.
I agree
But
with
it's
not
a
doing
season.
recency bias. Can I just ask one quick
Recency
question?
bias. It was last game.
No, I understand. I am agreeing with Brou. Not in theory. Each game should count for 1/7 or 1/6, no matter when it was. So that's what Bru's doing. Brou was saying that Baker had a big lead. And so the lead is lessened.
He also has better odds at this moment than Drake.
Did you consider, Brou,
Oh my goodness,
Jackson Smith and Jigba?
I doubt it.
No.
Okay, because he is
playing
flirting right now with that 2,000-yard pace that we were saying if Tyreek got that, he would get on there. That's the only question I have.
He's been great.
Go ahead, Greg. Sorry.
Yeah, so look, where's Dak? And I know you're going to say
records matter. They're 3-3-1.
I think that.
I mean, right? Like
they're 3-3-1.
If they're 8,
Mahomes
8
is on here, and if records matter, they're 3-3.
No, they're
4
not.
4-3.
They're not.
Four-
4
four,
and 3. They're
excuse me.
above 500. Sorry, it's a big difference though.
If Dallas is
4-3.
8-1,
4-1 post.
is Dak gonna be in consideration for MVP?
So question for you: if Dak was 4-3,
he'd be on
here.
He'd probably be on it.
No, don't answer for him.
I'm just telling you, I knew he would
Dak
be.
is playing great. Don't get me wrong. He's playing great.
So the tie to the Packers, the team that you
I don't look at it as the tie. I look at it as you don't even have a winning record.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
can't be the MVP without a winning
or pick
record.
a different loss if that were a win, not against the game against the Bears where Caleb
No
outplayed
way.
him. It's the same thing with Burrow.
We're headed to the mountain next. That was good. It was argumentative. Stirring the pot.
I think that was great.
Big news. Sephora is now on Uber Eats. So if you find yourself facing a beauty emergency, like needing a last-minute gift or you're just out of your favorite mascara, again, don't panic. We got you. Order now and get $10 off on Sephora orders of $50 or more on the Uber Eats app. Order now. Offer ends October 30th. One order per customer. Additional terms apply. See app for availability. Delivery fees may apply.
Live from New York. It's a show that has a stat so good.
You gotta stop,
What?
man.
Why? I can't promote the show.
it better be good.
It's just all you.
Well, it's
Drew,
what? It's what? It's what? What do you want me to say?
Did you show this yet?
You interrupted Bru's ballot to talk about your stat.
No, because Bruce said Stephon Diggs wasn't good.
No, I didn't say it wasn't
Oh,
good.
he
I said it
didn't.
wasn't a top
He said
weapon
something
in
you
the league.
agree with.
I don't
which
agree
is,
with anything.
You don't agree that the Lions have better weapons
He
than
didn't
the Patriots.
say that.
Yes,
He didn't say that.
I said he doesn't have the
good
same weapons as a lot of the other
teams.
top
And I'm
players.
saying I have a stat coming up that people need to see.
All right.
Trust me.
About
Me and Cardi
Keyshawn
supporting
Boutte?
Stephon and everybody else. It's not even about Boutte. Coming up, Baker gets cooked by the Lions. The stat that you got to see to believe about
this guy.
That's actually unfair, but it was a Josh special. Maybe the Bucs aren't that good, or maybe they are excellent. Remember that stat I showed?
That was a good stat.
And a
Oh
special
my.
new segment, so new we've kicked around the names. Brou, where have you landed on this?
Well, for the time being, it'll change, but right now it's just Bru's list. I mean, we're still mulling over stuff.
Okay, all right. Bru's
list.
list of players to watch on tonight's 2 games as the NBA opens up.
Players
But right
I'm
now,
excited about.
we've got an altitude adjustment. Get it?
Yeah.
Week 7 officially in the books. We've hunkered down in this nearby cave to try to determine which teams are for real and which teams are folklore. Much like this mighty Sasquatch, I will now introduce you to the mighty Pasquatch. Because right now,
it's time for Mahomes Mountain.
Crushed it.
I didn't bring the bat up.
It's okay. Kansas City's own.
Vinny did a great job.
Yes, he
might be
he was-
continue. I mean, he called everything. Might be a part of our World Series coverage as well. Shout out to the great Vinny Pasquatch. One less RBI than Aaron Judge this year. The East Coast media won't tell you that. All right, here's
Had
the
a
deal.
nice year.
Sad day for the Mountain and an exciting day.
Oh.
Exciting at the top, sad at the bottom. Because what you're going to see is a lot more people than normal fell off the mountain or are not climbing.
Really?
So we'll show you who is off. 3 guys, Lamar, Purdy, and Kyler, are off for injury. Justin Fields is off, and sadly his face might be off next week because his owner did a press conference today and basically said nobody could win with the level of quarterback play we have, and shortly thereafter it looks like they benched him for Tyrod Taylor. I'm sure those things are not related at all. Woody Johnson's always run a really tight ship over there. Cooper Rush is probably going to be off as well because Lamar should be back. Tua's going to be off the mountain for a while and might be off the Dolphins at some point soon. That's not going well. Carson Wentz, Dylan Gabriel, God love him, and good for the Browns for winning that football game. He has not been good at all. And Cam Ward, for someone who put my hard-earned money on the Titans +7, was that a mistake? Indeed. But Cam Ward, can you not just drop the ball? You just dropped the ball, KW.
What's going on?
What? I haven't.
I was rooting against him against the Patriots,
Yeah.
but I'm a Cam Ward guy, but it hasn't been great.
But this also means that sadly, for the first time all year, Brou, we have vacancies. I hate when we have vacancies, but show the last row of the mountain, we have vacancies. Also sad, those first 2 guys. I never wanted them down there.
Tough one.
Trevor and Gino.
You're 2 guys.
Listen, this isn't Pro Football Focus, so I oddly don't think Gino outplayed Patrick Mahomes this weekend, so he drops. Spencer Rattler came back down to earth a bit. Mac, I'm not going to drop him off the mountain because they did win, but he did not play well, KW. And Bryce, it's weird because they are winning now. He is still not playing well. I'm sorry, he's just
He
not
has a few
playing
moments here and there.
yeah, a
but
few moments, and again, you're like, oh, that was good for Bryce. And then you have that moment, you're like, he was the #1 overall pick in the draft. He's in year 3.
But he's out, right? He's not.
And then a couple vacancies. And then he's hurt, but he hasn't missed any time yet, so he's not off.
Okay.
Row 6, pardon me. Caleb and CJ. They can commiserate together, maybe give each other some advice. Bo Nix. I moved him up because I'm fair, because that 4th quarter was electric. Everything before it was disastrous. Joe Flacco went from off the mountain to row 6. I thought about row 5 for him, to be totally honest. He was out there dealing. Jacoby Brissett, I thought, played really well, Brou. He was under constant duress, but I thought he played well. And Michael Penix, I'm going to be real honest with you here. I almost had a vacancy in row 6 and put Penix in row 7. Penix has not been exactly lighting the world on fire either. Now, luckily, the top 15 is a really solid top 15. But they're doing all the heavy lifting for quarterbacks across the league. Row 5, Jordan Love stays where he is. Sam Darnold has to drop even in a win. It felt like the Seahawks were doing everything they could to give Houston a chance, just so their defense could then deny him every time. Not a sharp game by Darnold, and contrary to what Danny Parkins will tell you, not a sharp game for Justin Herbert, who, once they got down 21, did start dealing what was a big part of why they got down 21, and then did have the ball down 14 with a chance, are we going to make this 1-score game? They get 0 points. Jaden's a tough one because he got hurt. I think he's played well, but the injuries are a concern. And even in the loss, I know he made the one mistake. I thought against that Broncos defense, Jackson Dart over the course of the game played quite well. And so I bumped him up. Top 10. Jalen Hurts. back in the top 10.
I'll take it.
You could argue should be higher based on this past week. And his actual year-long stat line, as far as total touchdowns and turnovers, is quite good. Better than probably the eye test for the season. But this week, the eye test was unbelievable. Daniel Jones and Jared Goff stay where they are. And Aaron Rodgers, fair is fair. He's played well. He has played this year like a top 10-ish quarterback. He is there as well, even after a loss to Cincinnati. I don't put that loss on him. And what could have been the game-winning touchdown was one of the best plays Aaron Rodgers made in 4 years, where he rolled out and then hit, was it Freiermuth for what they thought was going to be the game winner. Top 6, row 3. Drop from the top spot, Bake Show. Again, this is a very, very packed, top 3, 4, 5, 6. So it was hard. I didn't want to drop Baker this far. It felt fair to do so. I think he's played great. I still think he's a legit MVP candidate. Drake May continues to just be excellent. There's no addendums you need to put on that. He's just playing excellent. And that throw to Booty near the end of the first half was, I think, the best throw he's made in his career. Josh Allen had the week off. We're not going to move him. Who's going to be at the top? Top 2. Everybody's All-American Matt Stafford, fresh off a 5-touchdown performance in London, and Dak Prescott, who's playing the best football of his life. It, however, is not enough as we back to his rightful place atop his own damn mountain, with the light show back, with the MVP favorite back, with the team being the Super Bowl favorites back, leading the entire NFL in yards and touchdowns and only having 2 turnovers this year, only one of which was his fault. Patrick LeVon Mahomes II atop Mahomes Mountain. Greg, be honest. It feels good to see Patrick back at top of the mountain, doesn't it?
He's definitely deserving to be on top of the mountain with that type of performance. I'm going to get straight to it. I'm going to go down to row, what is that, 6?
Well, I don't know. There's 7 rows. So
6, okay. 6. And talk about Bo Nix.
Oh, no. Well, you want to drop him?
No, I'm actually going to suggest that Bo Nix gets moved up in front of Jackson Dart. And here's why. Okay, before I show you any numbers, let's say you had a guy who showed up from quarter 1, 2, 3, all the time, super consistent, lit the scoreboard up, lit the stat sheet up, and disappeared in the fourth quarter. And you lost consistently because of that. Will we deem that a problem? We would say, you can't win with this guy.
Yeah.
Now, what would we say if there was somebody who does the opposite? He doesn't show up.
And plays for the Broncos?
And he plays for the Broncos.
Tim Tebow.
Yep. That's what Tebow did.
It is what Tim Tebow did, but he didn't do it quite like this.
Right.
When you look at the numbers that he's been putting up, like this is through the first 3 quarters. This is for the season. That's 21 quarters of football that we're looking at on the left-hand side versus 7 quarters of football on the right-hand side, all being in the fourth quarter. I'm going to say this again. The right-hand side is strictly fourth quarter. Like,
is the left-hand column, Greg, so underwhelming that
it's 21 quarters of football.
That's the point. That's a problem.
What I'm saying is, it is a problem. However, when he shows up, just in the nick of time, he gets it done. It's the oddest thing. But it's like, would you rather have a guy show up?
You would rather that than the opposite.
Exactly.
That part's true.
But I'd rather have
somebody that's just good.
We would. But we're knocking him so far down, yet he still comes through every time. You can look, if you were a boxer and you lost every round and you got the knockout and it always happened to you, we got to give you some credit.
No, that's fair.
Okay, yeah, so listen, and he does have credit. That's why he moved up from row 7. But I lied to you, Greg. I did know you were doing Bo Nix, which is why I have this graphic ready.
Oh!
Because here's his full season stats with ranks.
Okay.
Does that look like a top 15 player?
Well.
In any way? Is that at all the profile of a top 15 quarterback?
I mean,
not to me.
In the fourth quarter, though.
Right. And
again.
That's my point. In the
also,
fourth quarter,
it should be noted The fourth quarter against the Jets in London.
Oh, here.
He didn't do that was one game ago.
Here we go.
He didn't do anything. This game, God love him for what they were able to accomplish. That also should never have been possible.
What did he do against fourth quarter against the Eagles?
That was
he did great. Listen, the last 3 games, the Denver Broncos, Eagles, Jets, Giants have scored 13 points total in the first 3 quarters. Now I'm doing this in my head. And have scored 50 in the fourth. It's remarkable what they've done in the fourth quarter, which is why I have him next to luminaries such as Super Bowl MVP Joe Flacco and Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams. It's good company.
The fact that Greg just wanted to move him ahead of Dart, that's a good argument. Like, you could move him ahead of Dart. But I get it, both sides.
Okay,
but,
Brou?
All right. Look, Aaron Rodgers has been good. There's no question about it. I'm switching, though, him and J-Lo. I'm switching him and J-Lo. Really, I'm moving Rodgers down, and you want to know, well, who you moving up?
Yeah.
J-Lo.
Okay.
J-Lo has a better passer rating. J-Lo has a better TD to interception ratio. J-Lo has more yards per attempt, more yards per game. All right, now Aaron's doing fine, but also that game against Cincinnati that they just lost, he played very well, 4 touchdowns, but his 2 interceptions were costly. Yeah. They cost him 10 points in a 2-point loss. So I'm just, and that's not even saying.
A great throw that the ball just got stolen, to be fair. But one was a bad.
What I said yesterday when you brought it up with Mac. You can say that about every quarterback. You know? So they even out. Now, again, Rodgers has played well. I just don't think he's played better than Jordan Love. If Jordan Love was in Pittsburgh, I think the prospects would be much higher for them than they are with Aaron Rodgers. So that's just my little tweak where I have to move.
Yeah, and obviously if Aaron were in Green Bay, they'd never get rid of him for Jordan Love. I think you are higher on Jordan Love this year than it's weird because his numbers are great. Like his passer rating,
and he hasn't played as well as I've expected, but I just think he's been better than Rodgers. I'm not saying he's got
one of the most important pieces of that offense, but we'll get to see it Sunday night.
Right, they play Sunday night. So
that's a great point. We'll see him head to head. I have been Jordan Love this year. To me's numbers far outstrip how I feel when I've watched the Packers offense. Because he have 1 turnover? Do I have that wrong? I thought
he got 2 interceptions.
But the passer rating is like 108. So
I agree.
It doesn't.
We're expecting to see more out of him.
Expecting to see more, but the statistical profile is a great one.
And he's not playing poorly.
No, so it's weird. So it's not left to right. Coincidentally, that was the toughest call. Was Love or Rodgers, as it happens.
That's just coincident.
It's coincident.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because a lot of people would say
I know
that's
Rodgers
his
last,
way.
and then saying
his ego will only let him go so far. That's his way.
My ego.
That's his way of
Brou,
saying,
how dare
you were right.
No, if I thought you were right, I would have had it that way. I'm just saying, my lack of ego my humility is enough to be like, Brou, we're kind of in agreement. You have 1 as 10, 1 as 11. I have 1 as 11, 1 as 10. It's very close. It's in the margins.
Yet again, I am putting Drake May on the mountain, moving him to the left of Baker, even though
it's not left to right.
I understand that. I've been here a long time. I know it's not left to right. So if it's not left to right, can I just move him?
Up or down?
I want to move him to the left.
I love that, Woz. I got to take that one time.
What's the big deal, right?
Yeah. It's like 2 plus 3 equals 5, 3 plus 2 equals 5.
That's fine,
I'd like to move him to the left. But why are you so passionate about, I just want to move him to the left?
So you just think he's perfect?
Just me personally, I would like to move him to the left.
That's fine.
So when I look at it, it's just like arranging books or something.
That's fine.
I just like that
I got
over
no
there.
problem with that.
Thank you. So I'd like to move him to the left. Why? I like to project a little bit too. Okay, so we're going up against the Browns and Myles Garrett. A little bit stressed, especially Myles Garrett around Halloween. He starts getting really into it. Right? Yeah. He's going to show up in a costume or something. I ran out of breath. Drake May under pressure has just been excellent, even though we do have a good offensive line. So this is good. This is just an appetizer to the 2 graphics I've been warning everybody about that are so good. That's
really good.
Yeah, first.
He's been fantastic.
Well, first in completion percentage, second. Yeah, that's really good.
Excellent. Airing it out, so he's throwing the ball deep, right? How good is it, Wilds? Is it just like as good as Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield? Well, no. Lamar Jackson and Tom Brady, 10 or more air yards throws in the last 10 years.
That's really good.
Yeah, we're in historic territory. Don't reveal this one yet. I'm going to tell a quick little story.
The next graphic's better than this one?
The next graphic.
I mean, that's an unbelievable graphic right there.
This was even more unbelievable.
Last year Lamar and 2016 Brady, it's pretty great.
This is more unbelievable.
2016 Brady was the year that he was suspended at the beginning of the year.
And he came back with a vengeance. A vengeance.
Yeah.
Okay. Quick sidebar.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the hardest things to do is to come back. Okay. Come back and be like, I'm actually still great. For example, Redman released an album a few months ago, and I was telling everybody, hey, this Redman album's good. And people are like, oh, is it good for because Redman's from that? I'm like, no, it's actually one of the best albums out right now, not just because he's Redman.
Okay.
That's Stephon Diggs. You're like, oh, Stephon Diggs, the guy from the Vikings? Yeah, he was good. The guy with Josh Allen? He was good.
Yeah, we remember
him
as a Bill.
Stephon Diggs is currently one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. That's what I'm trying to hammer home with this graphic.
Okay, let me see it.
Reveal.
I got to see this graphic.
The combination of Drake May and Stephon Diggs, the completion percentage is hovering around 89%. And then read the bottom. It's the highest by a quarterback wide receiver duo with 40 or more targets this century.
Yeah.
So it's not this nice, what?
No.
What? Why?
What? Because KW.
Last game, 7 for 7 for 70 yards.
Stephon Diggs numbers.
All right, so
the combo class.
KW.
But you said
thing.
Diggs.
First of all,
it's a Mahomes Mountain, but I'm trying to make a Stephon Diggs.
KW.
You guys are well, Stephon Diggs
KW,
is okay.
A passer rating of 100. That, just so you know, can I just ask you a question?
150, so I don't
Hold on, no. Just approximate. What's Drake May's passer rating for the year?
Oh. Is it
116?
Is it 116?
Yeah.
I would say
exactly.
I think it's 116.
Which means, certainly it's higher than 100.
Well.
So he is better targeting literally everyone else than Diggs. If his passer rating for the year is 120, and his passer rating when targeting his number one guy is 100, that means when targeting everyone else, it's far better.
You should have done him in Kayshon Boutte.
Yeah, I'm just telling you.
I bet those numbers might be
yes. Yes, now the completion percentage.
It's because of what? The lack of touchdowns? Thank you, Josh. It's because of the lack of touchdowns. We have so many red zone targets.
Yeah, and it's also being
Drake
juiced.
Drake is getting us there.
It's also being juiced by the amazing and unsustainable completion percentage of 89%.
Why is it unsustainable?
He's not going to catch 89% of his targets this year.
So that's what I was going to speak to. He boxed that for a reason. That is impressive.
That's wild.
Greg.
That is absolutely impressive. And I'm not this has been through 7 weeks.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like 2,
it's
3.
not like it's not sustainable. Because this has been going on for 7 weeks.
He's playing well, but what
he's getting better.
Yeah,
Stephon Diggs is getting healthier as the season goes on.
I get it. I get that. And I think he is, I'll be honest, I thought your last graphic was better than that graphic.
They're both great.
A minimum of 40 targets is not moving me as much as I think it moved you for the highest completion percentage this century. It's every quarterback wide receiver combo that's thrown the whole century, and you lowered it to 40 targets.
Well, it's week 7. What do you want me to do?
But that's for careers, KW, is your stat. It's not a single season stat. That's all time. That's careers. And so that's but regardless, what?
That's quite a difference.
Yeah, I mean, it just is.
Career
it's just hard.
versus
It's like
40
Mahomes to Kelsey is nowhere close to that.
Josh, Hubs, come down here and mic Josh up right now.
It's a single season?
Yes, Josh, you've taken shots at me. You've taken shots at Josh.
I'm not taking shots at anyone. You didn't present
Stephon Diggs is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL.
I agree with you.
And Drake May and Stephon Diggs' connection is better than any quarterback.
I agree
Marvin
with
Harrison,
you
Peyton Manning.
that in 2025, Stephon Diggs is the red man of the NFL.
Exactly.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the Dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
All eyes on Big Noon. Make or break clash. Undefeated Indiana moved up to number 2 because of Miami's loss. Sorry, John. Takes on UCLA all of a sudden. Okay.
And I want to get Kurt Signetti back on the show.
Hey,
you guys wouldn't let me do it before the extension. Now that he's gotten the extension, the number 2 in the nation, I want to have him on and talk to him about.
I'm not in charge of.
I would like that.
Oh, KW.
Mandatory.
He's done a fantastic
KW, you said no.
I didn't say no. No huddle. Both Detroit and Tampa Bay were banged up, and at the end of the night, both teams went home 5-2. Goff on target. Baker not so much. Gibbs ran wild. What's the larger story here for you, Greg? The Lions win or the Bucs loss?
It's definitely the Lions win. When you look at what they were able to do to that Bucs offense that had been carving everybody up, reminding the world they were without every starter in their secondary. Yeah. Like, they were very impressive. And for those guys to step up and not allow that Bucs team to make those runs that they've been able to make with Baker at the helm was super impressive. But just bouncing back after a loss against a Kansas City team, you put those, you threw those stats up there.
The last 17 teams to lose to the Chiefs were 5-12 in their previous games.
Yeah. However, though a lot of those teams weren't coached by Dan Campbell, who after losses in I think the last couple years, he doesn't lose after a loss. He wins after losses.
51 straight games.
So, like, I love the way they came out. It was a little inconsistent. Wasn't the explosion of offensive points that we typically see, especially with them playing at home. But it was against a really good Bucs team who is coached really well. They have some really good players on both offense side of football and defense side of football. I love what the Lions were able to do.
I agree. It was Detroit's win. Look, Tampa Bay, you want to win that game, but they're still 5-2. They're still in control of that division because remember they beat Atlanta, so you know that's an extra game, so to speak. And Detroit just needed this. I mean, we saw all week how upset they were and how it was lingering in their head about losing to Kansas City. So to come out and get this win, now they're going into the bye. Presumably they'll get healthier. And if you look at now we understand it. They had a great record last year. They should have a tough schedule. But if you look at their schedule, this was you got to stack the wins because they could lose some of their upcoming games. I don't think they really have any easy games left. I mean, Minnesota, that's a division opponent that, is a pretty good team. Washington, if Daniels is back. But the Giants, we saw
they don't have any walk. They don't have any
like every one of those games
guaranteed wins.
You have to be ready to play. So I thought this was something they needed, and it was good for them.
So I agree, but I almost feel like Brou that you think the bigger story though might have been the Bucs, even though you just said that. I'm only saying because you said earlier to you this confirms the Bucs are not A-list contenders. Right. Now, for me,
it was like
confirmation of what you already previously believed. So for you, it wasn't as jarring. But I think the Lions had to win this game because I do think it is something that they don't lose 2 in a row. To your point was it's been 51 games since they lost back-to-back games, which point you were making, and being 4-3. After being the number 1 seed last year and not having the tiebreaker with Tampa, who would have been 6-1, despite being as, if not more injured than you, would be really damaging. And we would start to nitpick the Lions and say, well, you played the Packers and got beat bad. Played the Chiefs and got beat bad. And then you lose to the Bucs. The win over the Ravens doesn't look as good to others, to some other people. And so I agree.
That's when the toys were still there.
Yeah, I agree that the Lions needed this game, and I thought it was a great win for them when I thought they were a little distracted during the week. I am not. The biggest story coming out of the game is the Mike Evans injury and his streak ending. People are, I think, talking about it in graver terms than it actually is. I expect, and I just want to ask you this quick before we move on, I expect him to play in the postseason. Yeah. Like a broken collarbone, even if it's 3 months, he should be back right before the postseason starts. And so I think that as long as he's back, the Bucs have enough to sustain. Yeah. And I still think the Bucs have a real shot at winning 13 games and being the 1 seed. I think they have a soft enough schedule down the stretch and they've been good enough. But this was a one of the bigger, not the biggest, but one of the bigger regular season wins Dan Campbell's had since he's been there, and I thought it was really good.
Look, they've been getting a lot of production from Tez Johnson, a lot of the others. Obviously, Emeka Egbuka was coming off an injury, and Baker didn't play well last night. And so, like, you talk about that injury, he'll be back. Jaden Reed has the same injury. He's coming back, I want to say, next month sometime for the Packers. But that was a huge loss because without Mike Evans and Godwin not really showing up in the fashion that they are hoping, knowing that it's going to be a while, that's a big loss because that is a constant that has always been there for them.
And they need Bucky Irving.
He makes a huge difference.
They finally had a running game with him. They need him.
Trademark alert.
Oh,
Houston, we have several problems. We're 2-4, and our offense can't score points. In their 4 losses, one of which was last night, the Texans have scored 19 twice, 10 and 9, and one last night was a defensive score. Brou, should we be worried about our guy, CJ?
We should.
I agree.
You know, we always hear about wait till they get tape on you. Now, he had one of the best rookie seasons ever by a quarterback. He had similar issues to now. Remember their offensive line? They had guys in and out of the offensive line. Nico Collins was there. We didn't know he was as good as he is now. Tank Dell was there. It wasn't like he had this plethora of receivers. And the run game wasn't like lights out. So he just came in with a rookie head coach and balled. And then, I don't know, people get tape on him, whatever. But he has not been the same, not only this year, but last year. And I know, Nick, you got a graphic on
you know what it is.
Don't do it.
Well, let me say this, and then the floor is yours. Let me say this, then the floor is yours.
Okay, sorry.
Greg, you know what's
these 6 games this year. You take Tennessee and Baltimore, which we know had bad pass defenses. The other 4 games, he's got 3 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So he is struggling. That defense is great. And he is not getting it done. I'm not writing him off like he can't turn it around, but for now, he's really been.
I want to see.
Sorry,
well,
I didn't
listen.
mean to be rude, but
neither one of them.
Hold on, real quick. Can I tell you something? You can say I don't mean to be rude. When I say I know what happened and you do this on TV, oh my God, I hate this. That is the definition of being a bad teammate.
There we go.
But there are things that the way my brain works. I'm like, oh, this is a turning point. You laughed at me when I talked about the wind game.
Oh.
And Mac Jones' entire career with the Patriots. That his coach emasculating him on national TV like that.
Blizzard.
There was not a single flurry in the sky. It was windy. His career was never the same. Obviously, famously, the passer around the world with the Chiefs now attack to turn the tide. In real time, I told you.
I'm with you now.
That TLTL.
Oh, gosh. Get us out of this.
What is that?
Sorry, Caleb.
TLTL.
The lecture that led to the losing. I mean, this is the
lecture that led
to the losing. I'm just telling you. That's the losing.
It is wild.
Right now, that's the moment that things went south. Now, I can't explain why. I just know that the lecture that led to the losing, they had a bad offensive line last year. They won the division. They had wide receiver injuries last year.
Yeah.
They won the division. They are the only team this deep into a season ever to lead the league in scoring defense and have a losing record. There are 7 teams in the league right now that are allowing less than 20 points per game. The other 6 are combined 29 and 13. And the worst record any of them have is the Chiefs at 4-3. All of the other ones are 5-2. Mm-hmm. And then Houston's 2-4. And last night was a great example of it. That defense kept giving them chances.
Yes.
And they couldn't pick up a yard on 4th down. They couldn't punch it into the end zone. And I do feel, Greg, like, in all seriousness, the franchise has let him down somewhat with that offensive line. It was bad last year. They traded away Tunsil. Mm-hmm. But he also has not had the improvement that we would hope over the course of this year.
So I am going to allude to what did you call it?
Electrolytic.
Okay,
that.
that. Like there's a level of entitlement that you start operating with that's like, what would make you do something like that when behind closed doors, or we find out about it. We shouldn't see it.
Or you're a seasoned, 10 years older champion.
Or he was just trying to be a nice guy.
I think it was a culmination of a lot of those things. Yeah. However, my issue, and I don't think Houston has a lot of problems. They have a quarterback problem right now.
What?
They have a. I think when you watch him play, and I listened to him talk about what was going on after the game, and he talked about how, I think some of it can be helped by play design and just situationally putting a better play, giving a better play so we can execute. He owned a lot of it as well. However, you were making this point. When going into this season, we have offensive line issue. We know this. Last year, I excused it. I made it, even with the receivers. You know what? I'm going to excuse it because those are valid reasons. This year, going into the season, we're expecting you to overcome that, to be the reason why we didn't have to go and address all of those things. He simply has not been better. He's been worse. Right. That's why I'm like, I still like him. I still think he has a chance to be a really good quarterback in this league. Something is not registering.
I totally
think he's
agree.
lost confidence.
Yes.
When you get hit as much, holding on to the ball, even the safety, like when you hold on to the ball this long and everybody talks about you holding on to the ball, get rid of the ball. Like you're in your own head. You are in your own head now. And so I just feel like if he can just somehow, with even Bo Nix, he just unlocks whatever in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Bo Nix has like an irrational confidence, more than he should have based on how he's played. And CJ.
When you watch CJ, it's like, what?
Yeah.
How do you go from being talked about as one of the best in the game,
MVP talks last,
to now you see the mountain?
Yeah.
He's barely hanging on.
And I just want to reiterate, if their offense was, and their offensive numbers are skewed because of the Ravens game. So for the season, 100%, it looks better than it is. The Titans game, they scored 26. They had 6 entering the fourth quarter, and then poured it on. And the Ravens, the Ravens were sad because they couldn't play ping pong that week, and so they got annihilated.
That's a fact.
But they're allowing 12 points a game. If you just had a mediocre offense, you'd be fine.
So can they get
Brou
is confident as like
not
the
even
DNA of the Ravens?
Last night, man, last night they scored 19 points. 7 was a touchdown was the Darnold fumble in the end zone, right?
Correct.
Another touchdown was in the final 3 minutes, down 15. Seattle turned the ball over 4 times.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's really hard to have that many extra opportunities and not score points.
Coming up next, a brand new segment that a fan has named Brou's Bucket List.
Wow.
Shout out.
Yes.
We're going to give
Shout
him a
out
shout
Maverick the Second.
Yeah.
Good job, Maverick.
The second?
Second.
Blue Jays clinched their first pennant in 32 years. Now they'll host the Dodgers, looking to go back-to-back. Coverage of Game 1 of the 2025 World Series begins Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
You know who, when I was a little kid, I used to play games of horse with? Who? Joe Carter.
What?
Really?
Yeah, he lived in Kansas City post-Blue Jays career.
I didn't know that.
So post-Blue Jays World Series winning home run fame, Joe Carter, was always at my school.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Next segment is sponsored by Credible. Great rates, none in the bowl. NBA season kicks off tonight. Brou, Rockets, Thunder, Warriors, Lakers. All teams are in the top 8 for title odds. OKC number 1. To kick it off, just looking at tonight's games, we used to have an unnamed segment called Brou's Watch List, but James II at Maverick _2.
At Maverick II. Yeah, at _Maverick II came up with a sick name.
Brou's Bucket List.
Love it.
So now, thank you at _Maverick II.
Yes.
Here's the first edition of Brou's bucket list of who you're excited to watch tonight.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why it's the perfect name, because it's not who are the best players playing tonight. It's who am I most interested, most intrigued about seeing out of the four teams playing tonight.
Love it.
Number 5, Kevin Durant.
Ooh.
Now, you know what? Look, Houston, I want to see the whole team. I want to see Reed Shepard. Amin Thompson, I think, is, a guy that, they need a lot out of.
Yep.
So Şengün, your guy. If Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant, and he's 37, 3 of the last 4 seasons, he's either not made the playoffs or been bounced in the first round, swept in the first round, if I'm not mistaken. And so if he is still Kevin Durant with their team, I think they could win a title if he's Kevin Durant.
I agree.
All right, and so I want to see, and I expect him to be. I'm not expecting a drop-off. We know he's kind of a guy that seamlessly can fit into a team because he's a shooter and a catch-and-shoot guy that isn't ball dominant. And here's the interesting thing, guys. He's the 3rd member of OKC's old original
to play
big
in Houston.
James Harden, Russell Westbrook. Neither of them could bring a title there. Can KD do it?
So my only surprise here is that he's not higher. He is, of everyone playing tonight, he is the guy I'm most excited to see. Because I agree with everything you said. It was the most impactful, to me, move of the offseason was him going there to take the, because when we watched him in the playoffs last year and watched Jalen Green go 3 for 17, it just felt like, man, if you could just replace him with a bucket getter, they could do real damage, and they replace him with one of the greatest bucket getters in the history of the league.
Josh, speed research. How many games did Oklahoma City lose at home?
Last year in the regular season?
Yes.
I think 4.
So that's what I was going to ask you. I know it's a long season.
Josh, tell me if I'm wrong.
This is opening night. Would a Rockets win do anything for you?
That's a great, considering how good OKC was at home. But opening night, we've seen times when teams get their rings opening night and it's just a bad experience. So
it would be interesting.
It would. Look, I think Houston's legit. No matter what happens tonight, I'm expecting Houston to be right there in the mix at the end. All right, number 4, DeAndre Ayton. Real talk.
This is wild.
Real talk, because he is a guy. His numbers probably look better than people think he is, because his career numbers are 16 and 10.
His numbers look better than the teams he's been on field he is.
He's had his issues, but look, and I get it, you can say whatever you want. He's saying the right things. Yeah. He's saying, I need to concentrate on defense. I need to be a rim protector, run the floor. And I want to see, does he work well with Luka? He should think Luka is the gift, from heaven to him, because in the pick and roll, Luka could get him so many buckets. He is a very good mid-range shooter. If he is a good fit and plays to his potential, or close to his potential was a star, and LeBron can come back and be close to what he was last year, I think the Lakers can make some noise.
Phoenix took him over Luka in the draft. The same draft. That's a great one, bro.
All right, number 3, Chet Holmgren.
Interesting.
Wow. You guys know. I know Chet's your guy. I'm not even trying to steal him. I think he's got superstar potential, or certainly star potential. They got one other superstar, and maybe J-Dub, Jalen Williams will become a superstar. J-Dub's not playing tonight. He's injured. So Chet is now the number 2 guy. Okay. He was the unicorn before Wemby. Obviously Wemby's at a whole nother level, but he can shoot the 3, he can handle the ball, he can block shots, rebound. He's still, 23? He's got a jump in him, I think. So I want to see tonight. Number 2.
Also got some good coffee table books.
Amin Thompson.
Yeah.
To me, he is the key. Obviously, if Durant is Durant, that's huge. Şengün, we know what he is. They do need something from Reed Shepard, but if Amin Thompson, who took a huge leap last year, was a great defender, scores, but really wasn't a shooter, if he can take another leap and become like a star-type player, then I don't know what's to stop him.
I think he has more superstar potential than Chet.
Probably.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to take a shot at Chet.
No,
I think Amin Thompson's ceiling is insanely high. because he's such a great defender. He does everything you'd want except shoot. Now, some guys never learn to shoot. But if
and
he
they
can
got
just
other
become,
shooters on that team.
I love that play.
Yeah, so I want to see if he can take the leap. And number one, Skinny Luka.
Wow.
Skinny Luka. Like, Luka is one of my, I love watching Luka anyway. People talk about, he is ball dominant and all that, but he is such a great player. You guys know I call him Luka Legend, like he's the turbo version, new age version of Larry Bird. But I want to see skinny Luka. I'm not expecting all the dunks necessarily of his career, but he has taken some shots the last two, from the media, from fans the last 2 years. So it looks like he took it to heart, lost the weight. Is he going to be defending better? Is he going to be quicker? He's still strong. Is he going to be dunking at times?
A little unintentional diss to Steph. I totally agree.
Well, I talked to Dusty about it. Like, of course I love watching Steph. But look at this. These guys are all
They're
in
more
intriguing
different things. I get that. And we know what the Warriors defending MVP, but we know what he's going to be.
I want to see Steph and Jimmy. I mean, they've been great together, but these are intriguing stories.
Controversial bucket list.
Love it.
Take it, though.
Great job, Brou.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Live from New York, it's a show that had some sort of surprise. For Top 10 Tuesday, I think, which is coming up, that Brou looked at me and said, "You haven't seen?"
Oh, really?
And I said, "No." And then he just smiled.
Oh, wow.
So I have no clue what he's up to.
Have you seen it?
Do you know what
you haven't seen it either?
What you're going to do?
Do you know what his surprise
Don't look at the
I don't know what your surprise is.
Okay, good.
I don't know your surprise.
Third hour, first things first. First things first. Overtime, it's called.
I'm excited, though.
Did any team topple the Chiefs to unseat Patrick Mahomes in Danny's top 10? I keep on wanting to call it Danny's dozens.
But there's not 12 teams.
I know. That's
Top 10 Tuesday.
Danny's top 10.
We're a big T show.
Too much.
Top 10 Tuesday, tackle the turn of the tide.
Meanwhile,
the lecture that led to the losing.
Yeah, did you hear this?
I did.
The curious post-game quotes from Baker Mayfield talking about the refs. Didn't love it. But right now, we're talking about the Lions. They bounced back an impressive 24-9 victory powered by a career game from Jahmyr Gibbs, 228 total yards. Bucs had 251 as a team. Here's Dan Campbell.
Good to get a win, get back in the win column. Guys responded, which knew they would, and defense played lights out. The big push will be here. We get the division opponents. We got 10 till we hit the playoffs, and it's on. So it's good. Feels good to get to 5-2.
Did the Lions, Danny, solidify their case as the scariest team in the NFC? And I don't know if we all agreed that they were the scariest, but we're going to go with it.
Yeah. I think they clearly are the scariest team in the NFC. I mean, Philly obviously they're the champs, so if you want to give them that sort of benefit of the doubt, that's fine. But we know what the Lions' offense is, right? Since they went into Arrowhead on Banner Night a couple of years ago, the Lions are number one in many statistical categories offensively. Like we know I think we all agree the Lions' offense is potent. The thing that they've now done a couple of times this year is shock me defensively. Like what they did against the Ravens and Lamar was shocking. And last night, I didn't think that it was possible that Baker Mayfield could throw 50 times in a game and have 200-something passing yards and 1 touchdown. Like, I kept saying last year that we were on a collision course between Philly and Detroit for the NFC title game. And then everyone got hurt on Detroit's defense. So I felt like we were robbed of the game we were supposed to see on the NFC side of the bracket because, and we can show it, their defense collapsed down the stretch because of injuries. That was the last 7 games for the Lions defense last year. The first 7 games of this year, their defense is good. Now, it's opportunistic. They play from out in front and then they get after you. But that's a formula that Peyton Manning's Colts won 13 games a year on. So I think the team is just constructed in a really smart way that if the Lions have a good defense, they're one of the best teams in football, if not the best team in football.
First of all, you love making Peyton Manning comparisons.
I do. Listen, I got a real hot Peyton Manning take that we can unveil in the summer. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, it's closer than people think.
No.
All Detroit proved is that what I felt, Tampa Bay is not in that upper tier in the NFC. They're slightly below the upper tier.
Yeah.
And that Detroit is in the upper tier. But I don't see why you would think. Now, they could win the NFC, but I don't know why you would automatically think, oh, they're better than Green Bay, because since that offense has been rolling the last few years, Green Bay shut it down. I get it. The Packers aren't really playing that well now, but they're still winning.
Packers are oddly the one seed, though,
is
right now, which is
they are the one seed.
Doesn't feel like they should be.
That's where a tie is. Everybody gets mad about a tie. It's better than a loss. Yeah. Philadelphia. Look, the only reason I think you would, and I get it, they had their little 2 weeks, and they're always seemingly on the cusp of something happening. But I think the only reason you would put Detroit ahead of them is if you just feel like it's tough to repeat or even get back to the Super Bowl. So they're, as good as they may be, they're not getting back most likely. And then I think you throw the Rams in there as well. And, you know, you've always liked the Rams. I have been questionable about them because I thought Stafford in the preseason, that was, you know, ominous or something. But he's playing great. Yeah. And they don't even have Puka Nacua right now, and their defense is good too. So I think they're right there with those other three teams, but I don't see why you would necessarily put them ahead of them.
I also don't know that this is the same Lions offense as the last couple of years, because it's not the same Lions offensive line. And they've played two excellent defenses, and both of those defenses the Packers truly shut them down, and the Chiefs slowed them down substantially. I think the Lions probably played a little better than their points in the Chiefs game suggest.
Exactly.
But they didn't. But it wasn't prolific.
No.
And the Bucs, by the way, last night, Gibbs had the 80-yard run. The Bucs, I think, have some. If they are frustrated with some of the officiating, I get it. The Lions were better yesterday, but I didn't watch yesterday and say, oh, the Lions' offense, you know, is the offense that it looked like it was briefly after the Packer game when they scored. They are the best team in the league at running up the score on bad teams. They were that last year. They are that this year. They love that. But I also think it's a little revisionist, and you're not the only person that's done this, that says, Lions last year, they just got too hurt. They lost that playoff game because their quarterback melted down. That was not just
Goff was 45-31.
Goff turned the ball over 4 times.
Okay, but
Goff turned the ball over 4 times. Well, in my opinion, that was a offense and defense loss in that playoff game. And I don't know if Goff turned it over 4 times or they turned it over 4 times. Because they also, with the season on the line, they had Jamison Williams throw a pass. They did a lot of goofy stuff in that game. I don't know why they're scarier than the Rams. And the Rams, by the way, aren't my pick. Like, my pick is Tampa. It's very hard today, this moment, to say Tampa's scariest. They just got beat soundly. But the Rams, to me, have a better defense than Detroit. They have a quarterback that is better than Detroit's. And while the weapons are, when healthy, a tick below, but I think still Puka is, I mean, Puka's exceptional. Devontae's really good. And I am a little anxious about Goff's skittishness behind this not as dominant offensive line when he's played good defenses. And I think that's fair. Like, the Lions, it feels, and I love Dan Campbell, but I also love Sean McVay. The Lions, it feels to me a lot like the Lions each of the last couple years, which are overwhelming against bad teams and good against good teams, but it doesn't make them the scariest team in the NFL.
Do you think it's fair to say, because the offense is definitely very good, the only time they've looked phenomenal was against the Bears?
That is definitely
like the Ben Johnson type offense, you know, that we saw last year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that the Lions' offense is still very, very good, and they're figuring out their offensive line that I expect to get better. But like kind of how you were talking about the Bucs, you think they're going to be the 1 seed? Detroit's formula, like that game last night, their defense was powered by their home crowd and the noise and feasting off of it. Their defense is the second best in the NFL points allowed at home. First in terms of passer rating allowed at home. Like if they get to play in a dome on a fast track with Gibbs, with Jamison Williams, with their speed, and then tee off with Aiden Hutchinson, like the formula of how they are built to succeed in that building, I just think I have the fewest questions about them compared to the other NFC teams that all have questions.
Yeah, that's just, I guess it's just, I mean, they were the 1 seed last year, and they lost their first playoff game to a rookie quarterback, and I don't know if we can show, go ahead, sorry.
Well, I'm just saying like, that that team, yes, won 15 games and beat the Vikings in Week 18, but that team, no one thought that team as the 1 seed was going to win the Super Bowl last year because of all the injuries that they had on defense. Nobody believed in that team at that time.
They might not have believed in them to win the Super Bowl. They certainly believed in them that they were going to win that first home playoff game when they were big favorites and they got clocked.
That was a bad loss.
I don't know if we, Christina, have time to show their schedule just quickly. I would agree with you that going to Detroit, if they get the 1 seed again, seems ominous. I don't think that is the path of a 1 seed. When I look at that schedule and I say they've already had a tough schedule, but what they did have going for them was the easiest games on their schedule, quote unquote, they've already played them. They don't play a single team left that we're saying, okay, it's just one of the teams that's scouting college quarterbacks already.
I'll be pretty shocked if they lose at home to Minnesota out of the bye.
Well, sure, but would you be shocked if they lose on the road to Minnesota? That's a divisional game. The Giants game is the easiest one left, and we'll see what they look like there. But everyone they play is live, and so I think they are far more likely to finish 11-6 than 13-4, and 11-6 won't be the one.
So do we all have different NFC? Like I have the Lions coming out of the NFC. You have the Bucs coming out of the NFC.
Eagles, Packers.
Wow.
Yeah, we all have
no agreement in the NFC.
Yeah.
Wide open league.
In the late game, Seahawks toppled the Texans to move to 5-2. Darnold was okay. Defense was better. So let's see how Seattle fares on this week's edition of Top 10 Tuesday.
Could have been Danny's dozen, but we're staying with Top 10 Tuesday. Making their debut, the San Francisco 49ers, atop the NFC West, and it's all because of Christian McCaffrey. Fred Warner, no problem. No $250 million quarterback, no problem. Christian McCaffrey is on pace for just under 2,400 scrimmage yards. It's the best start for any player since Derrick Henry in 2021.
Danny, would you say he's been a top 3 back this year?
Yeah,
okay, cool.
I would say that. yeah, him and.
I don't care who the other ones are.
There've been a lot of
just
good
as long as he's in the top 3. It was a big point of contention.
I look at running.
Yeah,
He's
not counting the receiving yards.
Just 3 yards.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Running.
Sure. Coming in at number 9, you mentioned it, Nick. The Green Bay Packers staying exactly where they were from last week. I can't really bump you up after that weird game against Arizona, even though Micah Parsons was incredible. They would be the 1 seed if it ended today. But, look at it. They feel like the 8th or 9th best team. 9th in point differential, 7th in yards differential, 10th in opponents' points per game. They're very good. And their ceiling is very, very high. But they're not consistent. They can't put it together. Maybe in a few weeks we can revisit. Actually, we'll revisit it every Tuesday.
Yeah.
But for now, they're staying at number 9. Coming in at number 8, Nick's team, the Rams. Also holding serve. They blew out the Jaguars. Nick just liked the Jaguars a lot more than I did. And I do think there's a legitimate case that they should be higher. They're the only team in the NFL with a quarterback who's top 5 in touchdowns and a defense that's top 5 in points allowed. Signature wins still coming for the Rams.
If they should be higher, make them higher. It's maybe a legitimate case.
The committee.
You can't even blame the committee. You're in an office by yourself.
You know how many personalities there are up here.
Right,
I was arguing with myself for a long time. Yeah. Number 7, the Bucs. That's a rough performance with rough injuries from them last night. I was shocked, like I said, that they were held to single digit with points. And Bill Parcells once said, you are what your record says you are. You also are the company you keep. And now that their point differential is negative for the season, these are the teams that they're just in front of in terms of point differential. Cardinals, Bears, Panthers, Jaguars, oh my. You beat Atlanta by 3, Houston by 1, and the Jets by 2.
That's 4 number 1 overall. 5, can you put that back up? All 5 quarterbacks were number 1 picks. That's crazy.
All have
Baker, Kyler, Caleb, Bryce, Trevor. I mean, that's weird. Maybe you didn't have to put that back up. It just struck me as odd. I don't even know what it means. It's just crazy that they were all number 1 overall picks. Just something. Who knows?
Hey,
all right, go ahead.
Something or nothing?
What, 3 Heisman trophies?
Yeah.
Feels more like nothing. Yeah. Coming in at number 6. After another impressive game, the Colts continue to move up. Time for our insane Colts stat of the day. This is ridiculous. 33 or more points scored with 5 or fewer turnovers through 7 games. The 15 Patriots that started 10-0 and finished 12-4, last year's Lions, and this year's Colts. It's a pretty good formula to score a ton of points and never give the ball to the other team.
Not make the Super Bowl like those other teams.
Right. I was like,
okay, fine. But in terms of how they're
have
starting,
a good regular season.
They are. Well, it is a regular season win. A lot of critics today. Coming in at number 5, the Seattle Seahawks. Here's the thing. Nick scoffed last week when I picked Seattle, 3-0 by the way, against Houston for saying that I thought the Seahawks had a better defense than the Texans. The Seahawks were able to win that game by 8 points with 4 giveaways. McDonald, very impressive. Jackson Smith and Jigba, legitimate superstar. Dark horse candidate for Offensive Player of the Year. Maybe we'll watch it. I'm just continually very impressed with, if they can win that game against that team with their C- effort, they're a very scary
For the
team.
record, I also had Seattle -3. I just didn't think they had the better defense in the game.
Well, you were wrong about a couple of things this week. 1-2, 3-0. We'll get the picks later in the week. And now this is picks, or it's Top 10 Tuesday. It's not tiers, but this is the benefit of the doubt tier. We begin at number 4 with the Eagles. Listen, Jalen Hurts proved something to me. Best passing game, arguably, of his career. Can't have a better passer rating than he obviously had against the tough Minnesota defense. But that's the reason why teams up here are going to just get the benefit of the doubt. You were a Super Bowl champ last year. You were dominant last year. It was a 2-game blip. It wasn't a supernatural funk. It was just a weird 2 games, and now I think the Eagles are back to being scary. Coming in at number 3, my Super Bowl pick, the Buffalo Bills.
Moved up in a bye week.
Wow. It's a league filled with parity and mediocrity, and I will say this. I am applying the same logic to the Bills that I applied to the Eagles. I'm assuming weird 2 weeks, not all of a sudden they're bad. Because last 2 weeks for the Bills, bad. Last 38 games for the Bills, last 78 games for the Bills have been really good, and we can show it to you. I am choosing to believe that the Bills team that we have seen over the last, 3 years is actually the team that we're going to continue to see. Believe me or not, I can show it to you later. Coming in at number 2.
Thank you for omitting that.
Not to say either. The last 78
right here.
games.
Well, here's the thing. Wild said to me before the show, he's like, I want to see your Bills graphic other than just I believe they're good. Yeah. So we cooked up a Bills graphic. And then
they were good 3 years ago.
And last year, and the year before. And don't worry. No, last week they were not. They were on a bye. They dominated
Didn't
the
lose,
vacation.
though. Yeah.
The Lions coming in at number 2. We just talked about it off the top of the show. I think if their defense is, even if they're just great at home, they're going to play a lot of home games. And a defense that is average to above average with what I believe their offense is, which is the scariest in the NFL. The Lions come in at number 2. But yes, of course, Nick, once again, your Kansas City Chiefs at number 1.
Doesn't even need explanation.
It really doesn't.
They're just the best.
They are the best, and they get the benefit of the doubt until proven otherwise.
Danny
Chiefs
has gone from the Chiefs might not make the playoffs.
I know.
That's not what I ever said.
There's no explanation.
You flirted with it.
No,
you
we can run
flirted
the
with
tape.
it.
No.
Was if they
Right.
it was if they lose to the Giants, they might miss the playoffs, and they could lose to the Giants because Russell Wilson might outperform Patrick Mahomes. All those things happened. All those things happened.
Those things did happen.
Okay.
And we agreed that it was like a math equation. They were losses can pile up early.
Yeah.
Things can get problematic. They
Brou,
won.
what's your
Chiefs
big
are bad.
surprise?
All right, look. When I first
perfect
looked
list.
at this list, and this probably happened to you, Nick, too. When I saw the Niners at 10, I was like, wait, what? And I get it, the record is good and everything, but with the injuries, Mac Jones struggling lately.
He's not.
He just had one bad game.
He didn't have a bad
Three
game.
interceptions and no touchdowns last 2 games. I'm just saying, but they're winning. They're winning. Look, but I looked at the rest of the league. I was like, wait a minute. The Niners, 10? And I looked through the stand, and I was like, as you said, it is a league full of mediocrity and bad play right now. And so I assume, and I'll apologize, I will take this back if these are the standings.
They're not the standings.
These are not the standings.
Well, I think the 10 best
these
teams
were
are.
standings. So the record shouldn't matter.
The record shouldn't matter.
Give me the Ravens
No.
at number 10 instead of San Francisco.
No.
The Ravens with Lamar Jackson are number 10. I looked at all the teams. I'm like, man, with Lamar, with the defense holding the Rams to 17 points, the same Rams teams that ran roughshod over Jacksonville. Wow. I'm counting on him being back. They took the toys out of the building. It's all about seriousness now, resurrecting this team, saving this season. Ravens number 10.
Okay.
I told you I was going to shock you.
Yeah, you shocked me.
I don't hate it.
You don't hate it. I mean, I'll just say this, Brou. The Bears are going to end your team's season.
Well,
that is a big game.
It's a huge game.
That's like FTF OT Bowl. It is. Bears Ravens.
I like it. Your team has the same number of wins as the Titans.
Yeah, no,
And
they
the
need to
Saints.
win that game.
I mean,
They
that
need to win
that is the neighborhood they live in.
But
right now.
can we? But y'all gotta admit this, and I get it. They're
That those
1 in
teams
5,
have better
1 in
defenses,
6,
I agree.
whatever they are. But here's the thing: Chiefs,
Yeah.
Lions. Who was the other team? The Bills. Those are 3.
Yeah.
Those are your top 3 teams.
Right. They are
So
my
the
top
Ravens
three. Good
lost to them
argument.
with Lamar.
For the record, and one of them's Rams. Okay. All right, I'll go quick because I know KW's got a good one. Because it's not the standings, I feel like people would be totally fine saying the Colts are good, but they're not great if they were 5-2 instead of 6-1. And I don't think they're better than the Patriots. So I think I would put the Patriots, I would reorder a bit of it because I'd have Tampa higher and the Rams higher. But if I have to, I'm with you on what the Niners have earned and what they've done. I would remove the Colts and put the Patriots in the top 10 because
you're taking
the Colts
out.
aren't even in the top 10?
I am putting the Pats in, and the only team that's on there the team I feel most comfortable removing is not the Packers or the Niners or the Rams or the Bucs. It's the Colts. I do not believe the Colts' path of having literally the greatest offense in the last 30 years of the NFL is going to sustain. And I think the Patriots have a more sustainable model and one I've seen work, which is soft schedule, superstar quarterback making a leap in year 2. I think the Patriots, right now if the Patriots played the Colts, I'd pick the Patriots. So that's my
I would
take.
as well. I'm going to talk about the Bills.
All right.
The Bills aren't who you think they are. The Bills, talk about the Bills and tell me what the Bills have done this year, that makes you think they're the 3rd best team. They beat the Ravens on opening night.
Yep.
But the Ravens are not that good, and we know that now. And every other opening night game, we're like, Lions, Packers, Chargers, Chiefs, just weird stuff happens. But
Raiders, Pats.
Raiders, Patriots, that's an excellent one. They haven't won a game against a team that has won 2 games. They beat the Ravens opening night, and it needed a lot of funny stuff to happen.
They beat the Jets.
They beat the Jets, who haven't won a game. They might be the worst franchise in the league.
Dolphins and Saints.
Dolphins and the Saints. Then they lost 2 games and had an early bye. And I don't like an early bye either. So they're going to come out of this and play Carolina with Andy Dalton. Would you be shocked if... Okay.
Yes, I would be shocked. This is the last stand for the Bills in the top 3. If they lose to Carolina, I'll even make a pledge they can be out of the top 10 next week. Because you said something this year. I'm not going to tell you much about this year. But again,
it's just like if it's the benefit of the doubt, vibes, team.
Show the graphic.
This does include this year.
Yeah. I mean, they're good. They're good. It's been a weird 2 games. They're good. And they're great offensively.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, I for whatever it's worth, what makes them great is they have a top 3 quarterback alive, and that makes you great. You have to have a truly institutional rot of talent, the way Cincinnati dealt with last year on defense, to have that level of quarterback play and not be really good.
Last year, Josh Allen had 6 interceptions in 17 games. He has 4 in his last 3 games.
Yeah, but you still think he's top 3 quarterback, KW?
I think he's a very good quarterback. I'm just saying he's lost 2 consecutive games, and I wouldn't be surprised if they lost to Carolina.
Upset alert?
Perhaps.
Oh, preview.
Stay tuned on Friday.
Okay.
Coming up next. What's on the line when the Giants face the Eagles? Brian Daboll sure is upset. That's on first things first.
Always upset.
He's always mad. Should be mad at himself.
He knows
for
what's
calling
going
that
on.
pass.
Last night, in a weird game that ended, frankly, this morning on the East Coast, the Seahawks put up 27 points on the Texans. 4 turnovers by the Texans. Sam Darnold had a touchdown, a pick, and a fumble on his own. C.J. Stroud with a touchdown and an interception himself. But the Seahawks defense held the Texans to just 19 points. Both quarterbacks tried to explain the odd game and their performances. Here is Sam Darnold and C.J. Stroud after the game.
Oh, man. What a weird game. When we execute, when we do our job every single play, the results kind of speak for themselves. You know, we just can't keep shooting ourselves in the foot the way that we have.
And we just didn't catch a rhythm. They did a good job of just keeping the shell. And then some of those started shorts and, you know, plays like that, we got to execute. But I think it starts with me, and I got to do a better job of distributing the ball better. The type of offense we're running is like, you know, like I told y'all, death by 1,000 cuts.
So the question is more concerning performance from Darnold in the win or Stroud in the loss. And I got a lot of theories as to the why with C.J. Stroud. Like, I don't think it's all on him. He had an impressive rookie year, but I remember thinking at the time that we had overrated his rookie year a bit because it was just like, oh, he didn't turn the ball over, and then he got a playoff win against a bad team, and it was like a very solid rookie year, but I didn't think he was great. And now, partly because they got rid of Tunsil, partly because they can't run the ball, partly because of the offensive line, but partly because of him, C.J. Stroud looks broken to me. Like, he was bad last night, and he was inaccurate and fundamentally looked like a flawed player. And so we can remove last night if you want to because it was a weird game. Here is C.J. Stroud. He's played 38 games in his NFL career. Let's just look at his last full season body of work, his last 17 starts this year and last year. And it's just bad. Like, that is just not impressive in any way. And where that ranks, calendar year, guys who have made at least 10 starts in that period of time, this is a bottom third quarterback in the NFL. And I don't think he's a bottom third quarterback in the NFL, but I never bought the hype that he was a top third, top 10 quarterback.
Your tape says you are.
Right. And so now the body of work for him is just weird. So I don't know where you guys came out on last night, but I think C.J. Stroud is broken.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Look, I was one of those that had him in the top third of quarterbacks. I had him in top 5. To be honest, after his rookie year, I just thought he was going to be on that trajectory. And quite frankly, he's letting his team down. Period. There's no other way to look at it. I don't care who you don't have, because going into this season, you knew what you didn't have. You knew the receivers that you had in that locker room that was available. You knew the lack of offensive linemen that you had. And there was a sense of, you got to believe that you have to be the one that overcomes it. You have to be the eraser of what we don't have, because we're putting so much on your plate. And he just hasn't lived up to be that at all.
Yeah, I'm concerned because I'm with you, Danny. When you turn on tape, he's definitely regressed as a quarterback. He's struggling to understand what defenses are trying to do to him. Defenses are blitzing him early and often, and I got a graphic for you to show you real quick. Versus the Seahawks pressure last night, that's what he looked like, right? That's not good. But the bottom bar is where I'm with you with DP. You talk about he's 0-4 when pressure more than 30% of his dropbacks. Like, this season, that's who he is, 0-4. So when you talk about being a franchise quarterback, a guy that you have to depend on, a guy that's supposed to erase things on the field so you can be a better ball club, that's not him. And sure, you can point out what the offensive line is not doing. You can talk about the lack of receiving help. But right now, with C.J. Stroud on the field, the playbook looks shrunken, right? It shrinks. And that can't be the case when you're considered QB1. And what's frustrating right now, and I don't know if Houston knows it, they're running out of time. They're running out of serious time, and I don't think they can fix it.
Yeah, and when you have a defense that is that good, I mean, they are amazing. You can't waste that type of a defense because you don't know how good they're going to be in years to come. The one thing that I feel like he can fix, and it's not a hard thing to do, that will help him out against pressure, because it's not like teams are going to stop pressuring him. You got to mix up your cadence at the line of scrimmage to help yourself out. Because if you can get the defense to show you something,
give you the answers. Yeah.
You know the answers once the ball is snapped. And he's not doing that. He's not using his snap count to his advantage. And in year 3, you would think that's something that you would easily tell your quarterback.
But that goes back to what you said earlier about his first year. We were enamored with the fact that he was able to do that early in his career, that he can anticipate what he needs to do with the football, be on time, get the ball out of his hands, and keep the offense on schedule, being a rookie. We're not seeing that right now.
No,
and so that's why you're concerned about what's happening with C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, he looks lost out there. Meanwhile, across the Hudson, the Giants sitting with a fourth quarter collapse in Denver. They're trying to figure out what had happened. The Giants are now 2-5. They go to Philly on Sunday to face the Eagles yet again. Here's Coach Brian Daboll.
Certainly a lot of guys that are hurting right now, some physically. But they gave everything they had, and we came up short, and that was a tough one. Make no mistake about it. But you got to get back on your horse and get ready to play a very talented team that we just played 2 weeks ago.
All right, Mr. New York, you think Daboll lasts the year?
Listen, he was already walking the plank. Let's keep it a buck. I think what's interesting about the game Sunday, man, was it's the Broncos were able to erase 3 quarters of hard work in 15 minutes. And when you're Brian Daboll and your thing is being a quarterback whisperer or having that one playoff win in Minnesota, none of that matters right now. It's about the development of Jackson Dart and how you manage this team. This wasn't about bad luck. This was about mismanagement. And you're at the point, Brian Daboll being, where because of the record and because of how horrific that loss is, you're solely dependent on Jackson Dart. And with the team knowing you're in a hot seat, are the boys going to rally behind you? Or they're going to let the chips fall where they may and leave you if this thing gets ugly down the road. So he's in a weird spot. Does he last the season? Yes, because we've seen over time, firing a coach middle season doesn't do well, a la the Jets, right? It just unravels. They can't afford that. It was a bad loss. It was mismanagement on his part. It wasn't bad luck, but there's going to be some answers that need to be had at the end of the season.
Yeah, he makes it the season. You don't want to fire a head coach that your quarterback is leaning on. And you got to believe, there's a lot of things that he could do better. But the development of where Jackson Dart is and where he can end up being, pending what you do with this head coach, it matters right now. Mm-hmm. I don't know if this is going to be the coach long term, because a lot of the things that we're seeing, he has to take accountability. I listened to that entire presser, and there's a lot of deflection. And I just need to know that you're accountable for everything. I don't care that somebody else is calling the plays. We get that. But we know you are a play caller, and you are an offensive mind. And so when we see things that transpire in the game that we look at you like, what are you doing? Run the ball, or you know what I mean? Mismanagement of different things. Just own that, and then your team will follow that.
It would be malpractice to fire him in season. You can't do that to Jackson Dart.
No.
Once you make, because listen, I think starting a rookie quarterback with a coach who's on the hot seat and then firing that coach after the rookie year is already a huge setback to quarterbacks. I call that doing a Bears. They did it to Trubisky, they did it to Fields. It's just I've seen that story basically my entire life. You cannot do it. And so if you think Daboll's not the guy for Dart, fine, do it in the offseason and hit the reset on Dart, and it will be a setback. But do not make Jackson Dart between weeks 9 and 10 also learn a new coach and a new play caller and that whole thing. Daboll could blow 5 more games the rest of the year like they did against Denver, and I would not advocate firing him in season. Out of season, sure, but now your season's cooked. If he's the guy to turn Jackson Dart into Josh Allen, then Brian Daboll stays.
Yes.
Well,
that's just kind of how it's going to work.
Well, this is the thing. I thought the Giants regressed when they let Wink Martindale go, because he was a guy who, Greg, there's always that one coach who's allowed in the player circle who say, hey, I know what upstairs saying, but this is how we really should operate, right? I had a coach like that in Russ Grimm before Mike Tomlin got hired, because he was one of the original Hogs. He's a Hall of Famer, played on the Washington Redskins offensive line. He was a guy that can go to a defense, go to an offense and say, hey, man, this is what we should be doing. This is how we should be playing. This is how we should be conducting ourselves. And when you lose those guys, now you got one guy to depend on. And when you're not efficient or competent at their job, now everybody goes tone deaf. So when you lose a key character like a Wink Martindale, and the guys love to see him talk and rally around him, that's a missing piece of that organization that they got to find the next guy up outside of Brian Daboll.
You got to find a lot of things. That's a loss that it would linger.
Yeah.
It lingers with the fan base, locker room. I know you guys are great at moving on. That's a loss that lingers.
It is. And when you listen to guys, even prior to these few losses. Like I look at Malik Neighbors and some of the things that he said in some of his press conferences. When you suffer a loss like this, you start looking at everything. And when he was talking about it's not the quarterback, well, who is it then? And we
gotta be somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It has to be somebody. And when you start to see the antics, and I'm calling them antics of your head coach, where he's going crazy on the sideline because he doesn't have players and his quarterback, you have to be the still. And he just doesn't seem to be that for this team right now.
Willie's favorite segment. He said, we said.
Love it.
Coming up next. Let's play He Said, We Said. Hearing the best sound from the guys over the weekend, we tell you what we think. First up, Baker Mayfield after last night's performance.
Still pretty damn confused about the double review. A lot of things in that game that a little questionable, but a lot of frustration at the end of that. It might be displaced onto John Hussey in the moment, but I work my ass off and I put a lot into this game, so when things that I don't seem are deemed fair, I'm going to let somebody know, and that's good, bad, and different.
I hate talking about officiating with my friends. I hate talking about it on TV. I just think it's the lament of the loser. And Baker Mayfield is not a loser. That is not at all what I'm saying. Right? I'm not making that allegation at all. And I get frustration in the moment. But you scored 9 points. Bad calls. We all talk about it. It gets talked about on social media. But I just do not like it with coaches, quarterbacks. Leave that to fans and Twitter. I do not need to hear quarterbacks complaining about officials.
Yeah, my issue with it, and I typically don't mind it when you play well. When you haven't done your part, and Baker missed a lot of throws.
Yeah, he did not look good last night.
He didn't look like the Baker that we've seen in the previous 6 weeks. And so that's where I'm like, Baker, you kind of got to eat this one. I'm sorry. You don't deserve to be talking about the officials. I don't mind if you were lights out and you feel like you got robbed because of a sack, that you got tripped and they clearly missed it, and then they asked the player, did you trip him?
Listen, they missed calls.
They definitely missed calls.
I'm not saying they didn't miss calls.
So, but when you don't play well, don't do that.
Yeah, I understand his anger. Beat me, don't cheat me, right? And we can talk about the debacle with the replays. We can talk about the tripping and all that nonsense. But good offense respond in chaos. They respond with points. They didn't put up points. And when you turn on the tape, it was turnovers, missed throws, and bad football on the offensive side for the Bucs. So Baker's gonna have to take it on the chin.
I did not think we'd see 50 pass attempts from Baker Mayfield and only 9 points. Next up, on He Said, We Said, Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel.
Since Tua leads the league in interceptions, I guess we probably should ask you, will he take all the first-team practice snaps this week, and will he be your starter for the next several weeks, barring injury?
Yeah, he's going to take the snaps this week, and he's going to be our starter this week. And my expectation is that we don't throw 10 picks.
Okay. Mike McDaniel. I could call this Matt Nagy syndrome. I could call this Brandon Staley-itis.
You got a lot of trauma on your heart.
Okay, how about Brandon Staley-itis? I've seen this so many times. Young, hot head coach comes in, and he's saying all these cool things. And it's like, man, this guy's a clear communicator. He's an innovator. Everything he says sounds smart. And then the weight of the Chargers just beats it out of Brandon Staley. All of a sudden, Matt Nagy's like, is he speaking Mandarin? I don't understand what you're talking about up there. Mike McDaniel used to be cool and confident when he was talking.
Used to
be. And now he's not.
No, listen, I love it, though. This is directed at Tua. You throw 3 interceptions back-to-back games, and you don't think I'm going to call you out and tell you suck and you the reason why this thing is going south? I love it. I'm glad McDaniel showed he got some cojones, because for a long time he was being cute in front of the mic, dodging bullets, dipping and diving. Nah, Tua, you driving the bus and you stink. So if you want us to get right, be better and do better, and maybe this thing turns around.
So I'm with you 100% on this one. You typically don't like your head coach calling out your quarterback.
Yeah, normally.
But in this case, when you've listened to Tua, who's had these back-to-back 3 interception games, kind of dismiss him to a degree where it's not really all on me and we can do something. No, it's on you when you throw 3 picks. 2 games in a row. You just clearly have to be better. And the person that can tell you that first is the head coach, because he is the play caller. You guys you meet every single day about these plays, and we have an understanding of how we're going to execute these plays. And you go out there and you're throwing it to the other team. I can't have it.
But guys, because Tua has made mistakes in front of the media?
I'm not saying.
Now Mike McDaniel needs to throw. Is it like a two wrong to make a right situation?
It's two things. Coaches set the standard. Players police the culture. He has to set the standard. We can't play this way. The players have to go to work and do the damn thing and be on time and make sure this operation is complete. When you play like that and you stay away from the quarterback, guys in the locker room like, oh, you think you're invincible. You think you ain't the reason why we out here losing? It's up to McDaniels to call him out, and I'm glad he did.
Okay. You don't see it every day. That's all I'm saying.
You don't see 3 picks.
Talk to him.
That's, I suppose, true. Next up, Dak Prescott on the Cowboys defense.
They shut up a lot of that criticism. Came out and got the ball, had a defensive touchdown, held this group to, right at 20 points. It was a great performance by them, and that's what complimentary ball is. When we're scoring and they're stopping, games should look like this.
Okay. Quarterback, Dak has seemingly never made a mistake in front of a microphone. I will just say this. I would not, if I was Dak Prescott, rely on the Cowboys defense.
That's not what he's saying.
No. I know, but he said they stepped up. That's what they can do, that sort of thing. Like, Jaden Daniels missed the last 4 possessions of that game with the hamstring injury.
Right.
Washington had their top 3 receivers out. To me, that was not much. I get why the quarterback is complimenting his defense, but that is not like the Cowboys' defense is good.
Correct. And I think Dak is fully aware that this defense is not the greatest.
But he's saying they shut up that criticism.
But when they all,
go ahead, Greg.
What he's saying is, we just as an offense, we just need you to get some stops, and you did that today. And if they can do that, if you listen to them, it's like if they do that, this is what the outcome could be. That's a quarterback showing leadership, not throwing his defense under the bus.
That's true.
And we all know, including Dak, what that defense is not, and that is an excellent defense.
Yeah, first of all, you got to tip your hat off to Matt Eberflus. I know you don't want me to say that out loud, but I'm going to say it. Because if you pay attention to the Cowboys defense, they normally play zone.
Right,
they changed that up. They played man 56% of the time of this game. They blitz 30% of the time. Why they do that? Because they can't get home with their front 4. When you lose a guy like Michael Parsons, you got to get home with your blitz. They were able to do that. So now, my only thing right now, if this is who you're going to be on defense for the Dallas Cowboys, you have to remain this way. You can't go back. So if you set the standard that you're going to be a blitz-happy defense, there's no more zone. Let the boys eat one-on-one and send the dogs when you got a chance, and you know the Dak on the other side is going to light it up.
I know they made that zone-to-man primary switch, but I was also player-led. Like, it was so. If you want me to give Matt Eberflus all that credit, it's like, okay, you listen to your players.
You got to listen to him at some point.
Okay, but you're supposed to know the correct scheme for your players. Is that not the coach's job?
Yeah, but the players play. You have a scheme, and you believe in your scheme, and then when your players come and give you feedback, it is incumbent upon you to be able to take that and do something with it, and he did.
Do you guys think the Cowboys' defense will be league average going forward?
No, I don't.
Do you?
Not without
you do?
Yes.
Not without a pass, not without somebody that can get after. Well, Overshown. Let's see what they look like with Overshown.
Now you coming home. Let's open the door for you.
Let's see what they look like when he gets back.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Legitimate confidence.
Listen,
Cowboys
man.
Defense. That blip. Outlier performance.
This wasn't about personnel. This was about scheme. And the scheme finally matched this defense and what they can do well. You got to support it.
Okay. A lot of confidence here out of He Said, We Said. Coming up, Saquon Barkley. Optimism? What does it look like if he gets back on track? Eagles could be scary. Welcome back to FTF. We just saw the Eagles win when we had been waiting for what the offense is going to look like, and they had a great passing performance, but there was not much from that guy, Saquon Barkley. Well, Pro Football Talk writes, of the 24 running backs who have at least 75 carries, Saquon ranks dead last in yards per carry, 3.3, down from 5.8 last year, and we can put it up for you on the screen through 7 games each of the last 2 years. These are Saquon Barkley's ranks, and all of the numbers on the right-hand column are worse. And that one at the bottom, no explosive runs, no 20-yard runs through 7 games, is a shocker. So, Greg, can Saquon bounce back this year?
I hope he can. I'm not confident that he will, and unless they change some things up, because I don't think their running game falls exclusively on the shoulders of Saquon. Obviously, we know that they've had issues up front with injuries and just a mixed bag of who's going to be in the lineup. But their play design has been very stale. Like last year, I get it. You can get up there and say line up, and we're just gonna bully ball. That's not who they are this year. You gotta help them out, and they just haven't done that.
Yeah, I think part of it too is the rest of the league has caught up to Saquon Barkley. They're not going to let him have another big year. So when you see them loading the box and having 8 and really forcing Jalen Hurts to be him, and at times he has been him, but also on third down, that's why Saquon joined the Eagles. They needed a third down option, and now because you got so much crying on the outside, they've gone away from him. So I think it was just a matter of scheme and not giving him the ball and volume, and that's why he's he's not the guy we thought he was last year.
I showed the stat last week. Last year, Saquon Barkley yards before contact, #1 in the NFL. This year he was in the low 30s. Like Dickerson's hurt, Becton left in free agency. Lane
Johnson huge.
Lane Johnson's been hurt. Yeah, he was a mauler.
Yeah.
Like, so many guys hurt on the offensive line. He's just getting hit soon.
Defensive lines are living in the backfield.
Yeah, it's a bad formula. Hoops is back tonight.
Yeah.
Let's go, Nick. Man.